welcome back. Mystery Chris is here, guys. Welcome back to a pop culture. This is the first one we've done in a long time. A long time.
Oh, it's weird.
It's weird. We took a lot of time off because of, well, I was traveling, then I had surgery, then I had the post-surgery time when I wasn't doing a regular schedule. And also we took some time off at the beginning of the year before that. So I feel like it's been forever. Everyone misses you.
And I missed you guys.
Woohoo, sisteries. Everyone misses your voice.
You miss my voice? Mm?
You have a sultry
What are you guys doing?
voice. Yeah. Yeah. So welcome back, guys. This is a pop culture episode, and if you're new here, I know there's some new folks who recently found Deprogrammed. Welcome. This is a more of a lighthearted, fun pop culture theme show that my friend Mystery Chris and I do every couple weeks. We usually used to do it every other Wednesday night, and we sort of we don't necessarily talk. It's very rare that we talk about current events or anything topical. Very rare. We do occasionally. But most of the time we do evergreen subjects. We kind of take the time to, screw the algorithm. We do what we want, and we'll take a topic and go down a rabbit hole of something that we find interesting. Mystery Chris is sort of an encyclopedia of pop culture knowledge and especially archival clips. And so tonight we thought, I know somebody said, are we going to be talking about the shooting today, and there's a shooting the shooting that just happened that's on the news, and we're not really talking about that. That's a heavy topic I probably will get into on a regular Deprogrammed episode, but instead we thought we would do a lighthearted show about Rodney King and the LA riots.
Yeah.
I'm joking. That's kind of a dark joke. Is it old enough that we can joke about it? No. What'd you say?
Because he's black.
Because he's black. That makes it funny? No. No. It's old enough now. There's a lot of young people. I know there's sometimes I pick on, or I don't really pick on, but I highlight the Zoomers who watch the show, which is impressive to me. There are Zoomers who watch Generation Z, and they weren't even around when Rodney King happened, and they have no idea the massive media attention that it got. And it was really at the beginning of what became a sort of a court TV phenomenon. It was at the very beginning. Not only was it a very racially divisive trial, and not only were there a lot of the LA riots started afterwards, and then as you pointed out to me when you were doing research for tonight's episode, Chris, the riots spread into other cities as well. But also it was at the beginning of, it sort of started this whole court TV, true crime as entertainment genre. This is when people really started tuning in to see true crime, I think, or things that were going on in the news, crime related, as interesting, as filling, as what today you would call content, right? Things to watch. And so you thought it would be a good idea to do an episode, and we're going to do a couple of these. We're going to do a whole separate one about the O.J. Simpson trial. But yes. Tell us why we split them apart and what we're covering tonight.
Well, there's so much. Like in October of this year, it will be the 30th anniversary for the O.J. Simpson verdict. So I thought we'd look back on that, but we had to talk about what preceded that with Rodney King and LA riots, what helped make that trial so big. And so we thought it was best to split this in half and just talk about some of the higher profile trials from the 90s that really kind of shaped the narrative regarding race and race relations in the 90s. And with the Rodney King and the LA riots story, that was really the beginning of this narrative about police brutality being the number one issue facing Black people. Yes. Not the families falling apart and the rise of hedonism and celebrating of criminality. No, it's police beating Black people. And it's just something that's continued to grow.
Yes. It was the beginning of that narrative, wasn't it?
Yeah, because and I'm not even trying to dismiss that there weren't cases of police brutality, because obviously there were, but this is when things started to become less and less nuanced, and we would just see this grow over the years, eventually culminating with the George Floyd and the mostly peaceful protests that happened in 2020.
2020. And it's surprising. I don't know if you guys saw some of the photos that we shared on YouTube when we were talking about what we're doing tonight. Mr. Chris found some pictures for me to use to talk about how we're going to do this show tonight. And I hadn't looked at this stuff in so long, and it was shocking.
Yeah.
Just the fire, the mostly peaceful pictures, just kind of, I forgot how just chaotic and insane and crazy it was.
Yeah. And later on in the episode, we'll show a map that shows where these fires were, so you can just see the scale of it, because I think that's hard for a lot of people to kind of grasp. It's hard for me, but it was so widespread. And like Keri, you mentioned earlier, it was in other cities, which we have some news clips about that we'll be playing a little bit later. But yeah, there's a lot to get into.
Look at this fire and this guy. This photo is wild. There's like a raging fire, and he just got a shopping cart, and it's full of diapers, Huggies.
Are they for him?
I don't know. He's just
just let him go if it's for him.
Mostly peaceful, right? You were talking off camera before we started also about the narrative that a lot of leftists like to push this narrative that looting is excusable because it's just poor people, victimized people who are taking the opportunity to provide for their families, and they might use a picture like this, like diapers, to try and illustrate that. But most of the riot pictures we've seen are pictures of sneakers and TVs, and it's not diapers.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of these looters didn't really care about who they were stealing from. We have some good clips of some Black owners who were getting stuff stolen. One of the clips we'll show later, one of the Black owners who's with a news crew actually goes into his store and confronts the looters. And he's saying, like, why are you doing this? And the looter's like, I don't know. And it just shows you just how like selfish and evil
they don't care.
And they just felt so morally justified, all saying, oh, it's for Rodney King. I'm like, is this going to make race relations better? I mean, are stereotypes going to get less or more regarding violent nature of Blacks and Hispanics?
Yes. Okay, we're going to get into it. Now, Mr. Chris does a lot of research, and tonight is no different. He's done a lot of research and has some my favorite is watching old news clips, and really I find that stuff fascinating. So we're going to get into it. I just wanted to say thank you to a couple people. Randy Wallens here for $4.99. Thank you, Randy. Says, welcome back. Good to see you, sir. We were joking about it being lighthearted, sir. Come on. The return of Mystery Chris. Says Antigua. Yes.
I'm back.
And then Mark. Yes, Mark. Just the same. Pray for those kids and families in our nation and the world. Yes. As always, it was devastating news that everybody was getting today about that shooting. There's a lot of crazy murders in the news today. I just heard about that mom who killed her husband and kids. I don't know if you've heard of the TikTok mom.
No.
Oh my gosh, that's another crazy dark one. And I think that happened at least the news reports are from 2 days ago. Okay, we're going to get into an old crime, though, a crime that set off protests across the city and across the city of Los Angeles, spread across the country, became a national news subject, and then sort of led to some of the events that we later saw with the OJ verdict. You could argue it led to the OJ verdict, and sort of set the stage for what we know as what do you call it, like court, like true crime and entertainment, court TV entertainment, something like that.
Yeah. So this first case, the case of Latasha Harlins, which a lot of people either don't remember or just don't know, but this is one of the things that, like you just said, factored into the anger that a lot of people, were putting out during the riot. And so Latasha Harlins was a 15-year-old Black girl in Los Angeles, and she went into a Korean-owned grocery store, and she grabbed a little bottle of orange juice and she put it in her backpack. And it was kind of showing, it wasn't completely in there, but as she was walking towards the counter, the store owner accused her of stealing. And the store owner reached over the counter and tried to grab her backpack. Latasha punched her a couple of times in the face. The Korean owner took a stool, threw it at her, and Latasha ended up putting the orange juice on the counter, and she turned to walk out of the store, and that's when the Korean store owner pulled out a gun and shot her in the back of the head, killing her instantly. And so you want to bring up that first news clip?
Yeah, we're going to do the first
that. But this was something that people used to highlight the amount of tension between Blacks and Koreans in LA at the time.
In LA, so even when I lived there, and I lived there from around 2001 to 2016. Even when I lived there, it was well known that people still talked about this tension, racial division between Koreans and Black people in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
"15-year-old Latasha Harlins was shot and killed by store owner Soo Ja-doo. Du claimed Harlins was stealing a bottle of orange juice when she confronted the teenager. The store security cameras captured the incident on videotape as Harlins repeatedly hits Du, who takes a gun from under the counter. Du claims she accidentally pulled the trigger, killing the teenager. Members of the Black community charged the shooting was racially motivated. Du was convicted, but served no prison time. Du's store was later firebombed.
I would like for you, the Black community, to...
But yeah, and the thing is, first of all, I do believe that from the very beginning there was obviously going to be some racism, because a lot of people tend to be racist. So the very moment when Korean stores started entering into these Black areas in the 1970s, there's going to be tension from both sides. But what worse than that is that a lot of these areas where the Koreans were buying these stores at were high crime areas. So they were cheaper. That's why they were buying them up. And so a lot of these stores, including the one that was just talked about in the clip, experienced a lot of crime and robberies. In fact, this store was robbed. I think they said in the few years prior was robbed about 37 times at gunpoint, including her son. Her son testified against one of the people who robbed him, but that person was in a gang, and so they threatened his life, threatened to kill him. And so you couple that with what just happened in this clip, and I can understand the racial profiling that a lot of Koreans would do, but I could also understand why a lot of Blacks who weren't there to shoplift would be upset too. And so it
You can understand both.
Yeah, it just spiraled out of control, and as we see, would lead to part of the anger involved with the riots.
Now I've got this next clip you gave me is not working on my computer, the Bing one.
Okay, that's all
is
right.
that okay? Do you need to summarize that one? But I do have the one from the radio show.
Yeah, that was all right. I think that was just the clip of the judge, because the judge who gave Soon Ja-doo, which sounds like a Star Wars name, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Soon Ja-doo. But she's the one who gave her probation instead of convicting her of sending her to prison. And I think it was just her kind of explaining, her reasonings behind that, because they didn't think, they understood that, there was a lot of crime, that she was traumatized and stuff. And I still think she should have been sentenced to something beyond probation, but that's not what happened.
But they didn't think she was going to be a threat.
Yeah, I don't think she was a threat to society or whatever. And so, but yeah, you could pull up. And this is, I believe this woman here is a family member of Latasha Harlins, and I think this is maybe 92 or 3. But she's on a radio show talking about it, and a Korean person calls in to the station and challenges her. So I thought this exchange was interesting.
So, just for anyone joining us, we're kind of doing a trip down memory lane and looking at some archival footage tonight to sort of lay out the LA riots, Rodney King, and this is part of what led up to Rodney King. This gives us a little more background on the racial tensions in Los Angeles at the time and the role that media played in stoking these tensions and profiling certain cases or acquittals, and that all of this, which eventually led to the LA riots.
Thank you. The reason I'm calling is my father was killed in a liquor store robbery a couple of years ago when I was a child. And I get really upset because what Miss Harlan's, I think, has done, and a lot of the African community has done, is blame what happened by this one lady, tarnish the whole Korean community. And I think you saw a lot of that effect throughout the riot, how all the liquor stores were mostly Korean-owned, or how a lot of Korean businesses were burned. And how, right after Miss Harlan's was shot, her niece was shot, it was all over the Black Crusade, Brotherhood Crusade. We're all out there revenging Koreans, saying it's Korean salt. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, we're rude to African Americans, or we're rude to this. Well, a lot of it had to do with culture. Culturally, we were brought up to respect people, not look at them straight in the eye, put your hands down, when you're serving people. And because we're being blamed.
Are you Korean?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I understand where you're coming from, but you need to know, caller, that I don't blame the entire Korean community for the death of Latasha. One person only killed Latasha, which was Soon Ja-do. Now, where the Korean community come in for play, in my eyes, is that when they raised up over $1 million for Do's legal defense fund in protecting a murderer that heinously killed a child, then that's where I come in at. And that's where...
Let me just pause this. What does this remind you of right now?
Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah. They've raised what? Is it $1 million for him?
Yeah. Oh, and
Texas.
Well,
and they've tried to turn that into a racial thing too. The black kid who's stabbed the white kid, and they raised all this money for him, and then
And by the way, did you hear that Shala Hendricks, the white woman that called the black kid the N-word, she was charged. She just got charged.
With what?
I think it's like disorderly conduct or something like that.
Related to that, or a new incident?
Yeah, no, to that.
Oh.
And so I'm like, this is just going to cause people to double down on their position.
Oh gosh!
They've
already raised $1 million for her, or something close to it. They're gonna. Are they trying to make her a multi-millionaire?
Yeah, it's just going to get worse.
Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Where you saw many African American people in our community stood up and said enough is enough. Now, if you're talking about equal justice, you wouldn't see us raising $1 million for an African American person that killed any child, not alone.
Cut to today. Cut to today. We were just saying this.
Just where you play the Curb Your Enthusiasm thing.
This is like a thing. It's like a thing now where it's like a different racial groups are like, we're gonna raise money. That's the thing with the Shiloh. They're like, hey, white people, give money to this white lady because she said the N. What? Why? And then Carmelo Anthony, hey, give money to this black kid who killed the white kid. If you're black, you better give money. And this all the way back to take it back to here to the 90s. And the Korean people are like, we're raising money for the Korean lady. It's just exploiting racial groups.
Yeah. You see how the seeds were sowed back then.
Black, Korean, white, or whatever color you want to say. We don't do things like that.
Exactly. But I like to know.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know all the details, so I can't, I don't want to defend Miss O or your niece. I don't know the full details, but, why is it that when a lot of Asian Americans, especially Koreans, do own liquor stores and, cleaners and all these businesses, small type businesses, and there are hundreds that have been killed, and my father has been one of them.
Well,
And I mean, why is it that every time, there's been children killed, that we don't go out as a community, and our community, I say we don't have a strong voice, and I think that is one of
you only have a strong voice if you're doing what you're doing right now. The Korean community is not being blamed. The liquor stores in our community, yes, there are too many in our community that really hurt our people. My position is that Korean people were forewarned before all of these things transpired to come and to join forces with us in fighting for justice, just like they are right now because of other moves we're getting ready to galvanize around in reference to what Carlin's done. You need to point the finger at the judiciary, the people that's responsible.
You bring up a good point here, Denise, because at one time you tried to get together enough signatures, a petition drive to have Judge Carlin removed from the bench. And at that time, she was up for re-election, yet she was...
You don't have to play any more of that, but just want to get that snapshot in there. But like she said, I believe this was the first time a Korean person or store owner, I guess, that's shot somebody in the LA or black areas of LA. But like the caller said, there were dozens of Korean store owners who have been shot to death by blacks, and that wasn't really talked about in the news reportage of this.
You're saying it wasn't talked about that a lot of the Korean store owners had been shot by black customers, by black people coming in, right? But it was talked about if a store owner shot a black person, then it was talked about. It became such a cultural touch point that it affected pop culture. These are rap lyrics for Ice Cube's song Black Korea.
Yeah, read some of these lyrics. I'm kind of shocked he didn't get canceled for this, but
What? Do you want me to read them? I don't know this song. Will it be funnier if I read it?
Yes.
Every time I want to get an effing brew, I got to go down to the store with the two Oriental 1 penny counting MFers that make a N-word mad enough to cause a little ruckus.
It gets worse.
Thinking every brother in the world's out to take. So they watch every damn move that I make. They hope I don't pull out a gat and try to rob the funky little store. But B-word, I got a job. Look, you little Chinese MFer, I ain't trying to steal none of this SHIT. Leave me alone. MFU, yo, check it out. So don't follow me up and down your market, or your little chop suey ass will be a target of a nationwide boycott. Juice with the people. That's what the boy got. So pay respect to the black fist, or we will burn your store right down to a crisp, and then we'll see ya, because you can't turn the ghetto into Black Korea. MFU. That's the whole song. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god!
I'm
like threatening murder and arson and burning down stores and
Now Ice Cube did later come out and say he kind of regretted some of the stuff he said. No kidding, but still, I was still shocked you were able to get away with that to begin with.
Yeah, I don't remember that song. Did it cause any kind of a controversy at all?
Not from what I can tell, not really.
People kind of were afraid to touch, I think, anything. Now, so this is the period that this was maybe the beginning of the period where white people were learning these woke lessons of you can't have any observations or any criticisms or anything about black people, anything related to culture or rap or anything. If there's a black person involved, just be quiet. I think that might have been that, when that was starting, way before I noticed it, way before I got pulled into that of you don't get to speak.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that was Latasha Harlins, and so now we shall move on to Rodney King. I don't know how many people have never heard of Rodney King, but in case you haven't, Rodney King was a black man who, despite what the media was reporting at the time, was drinking and driving. and he was pulled over by some police. And we don't know exactly what happened before the film started rolling, but it is said that he resisted arrest, and the police kept beating him every time he would try to get up, and he would end up having to go to hospital. The video was sent to the news after the police ignored it, and it just became a huge, huge story because it seemed to validate a lot of what blacks were saying, that police were beating black people, and that police were just out of control, and that the police chief, Daryl Gates, wasn't paying attention or listening to the complaints of blacks in South Central and LA. But I do have a news piece from ABC, which, to be fair, like ABC, I went through a lot of these news pieces, and ABC's reporting of it wasn't too bad compared to other ones. They're a little bit more nuanced, but you know.
Okay, I got that, so. One of the link wasn't working at first, but I got it to work. It was missing a character. Here we go. Can you see it?
Yes.
Now the story that might never have surfaced if someone hadn't picked up his home video camera. We've all seen the pictures of Los Angeles police officers beating a man they had just pulled over. The city's police chief said today he will support criminal charges against some of the men. Here's ABC's Gary Shepard.
The 3 police officers facing felony criminal charges were among a group of 15 who stopped a 25-year-old black man last Saturday night, then beat him, kicked him, and clubbed him, unaware that an amateur photographer was recording the incident on videotape. Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates looked at the tape and said he thinks assault with a deadly weapon will be one of the charges.
In our review, we find that the officers struck him with batons between 53 and 56 times. One officer rendered 6 kicks and one officer 1 kick.
Civil rights organizations say the Los Angeles Police Department has a history of brutality and misconduct that goes back a quarter of a century, including one incident that sparked the Watts riots. So far this year, there have been more than 125 complaints of police misconduct filed with watchdog organizations.
We no longer want to have to wake up each morning not knowing what fear to expect next. Today, we are not sure that the police is there to protect us.
But Chief Gates today called the LAPD a model department and said he has no plans to resign. Gary Shepard, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So I've got a couple people in the chat who are saying show the whole video, not just the clip. Do you know what that's about?
Yeah, we have.
You have that on
links. I'm pretty sure I put it in a link. But yeah, we're going to get to that because the media cut off the very beginning of the video. And in the very beginning of the video, it does appear that Rodney King tried to strike one of the police officers. And there's actually an ABC report that came out in 96 or 7 that actually talked about that. And I put that in here. So
got you.
We'll get to it. We got you.
Let's get to it. We got you, fam. That's what my friend such a young person word. Okay. Let me get to this next one. Okay, then you've got a whole. So that was an ABC News report on the incident. Anything you wanted to point out about that before I move on to this next one? That
no, you can move on to the next one. I think. Are you going to the one about the special report?
Special report. You have lots of things highlighted here.
Yeah. Again, I got carried away. There's so much stuff. I went down such a deep rabbit hole. But this report detailed racism in LAPD. And so I thought we should show a little bit of that, show how media was covering the issue of racism and police in LA. So I think, I think it's good. So you can skip around a little bit because I couldn't really decide. Well, all those.
Yeah, I've got your time codes here, so we'll skip around a bit.
Simply on the face of it, the specter of racism in the beating of Rodney King seems apparent. An unarmed black man clubbed and stomped by white police officers. The scene evokes memories of Jim Crow justice or the abuse of South African apartheid. But beyond the obvious, there is more. We have had the audio portion of the tape enhanced by an expert.
No, this does have the
Dr.
N-word
George
in it.
Papson, a nationally recognized audio specialist.
What'd you say?
It does have the N-word in it. Just a warning. If
Oh my gosh!
I know,
Moved
I
the
know.
portion
Okay, someone's
of the
listening at work,
helicopter
and people are like, "What the hell are you listening to?"
sound. The words are hard to distinguish, but it is now evident that during the beating, a racial slur was yelled out. Replaying the tape, the audio reveals the commands, "Nigger, hands behind your back.
I did
Hands
not
behind
hear
your
that.
back."
You just wouldn't hear a reporter even to tell you what was said. You wouldn't hear a reporter say that today. It's so different.
No, and that's
You
the
hear-
weird thing, because I went as I went through all these clips, and not only through these clips, I was watching a lot of old Geraldo and Donahue shows and stuff, but they never said the quote unquote N-word. In fact, I want to say Johnny Cochran was the first person to use that, because I never heard anybody, use a fill-in word for it. They always actually said the word up until then.
They actually would say the word you're saying.
Yeah, they would actually say the word.
It's
And I think it was Cochran during the OJ trial
who
coined the term the N-word.
the phrase the N-word.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so okay, let's continue.
Behind your back. Before and after the beating, racist messages went back and forth on computer screens in police cars. Just prior to the incident, a note from Officer Lawrence Powell, who was charged in the King beating, referred to a family dispute as right out of Gorillas in the Mist. A response mocking black English came back from another officer, Karina Smith, who wasn't at the scene. Ha 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 ha, let me guess who be the parties. After the King beating, Sergeant Stacy Kuhn, one of those charged in the beating, radioed to the station, "Unit just had a big-time use of force." The reply, "Oh well, I'm sure the lizard didn't deserve it. Ha ha." After beating King, officers took him to the emergency room at Pacifica Hospital in Sun Valley. One of the nurses there, Lawrence Davis, told the grand jury that he heard the officers taunting King. "We played a good game of hardball tonight, and you lost the ball game, didn't you?" Davis also testified there were some racial slurs. It was something like, "This nigger," something or other. On March 15th, 3 officers, Powell, Timothy Wind, and Theodore Briseño, as well as Sergeant Kuhn, were indicted on charges of assault.
Did they say Sergeant Kuhn?
That's his name. And the funny thing is, if anyone's watching or listening to this, or I guess watching, and they have the closed captions on, like YouTube will blank out the word Kuhn, even though that's his last name. I was watching videos, with closed
because
caption
YouTube
on.
today thinks it's a they're like, oh, it's a racist slur.
Yeah.
4 have pleaded not guilty. Kuhn and Powell also pleaded innocent to 1 count of filing a false police report. In their report, they contended that Rodney King attacked them.
Do you remember resisting at all or trying to
No.
away? Striking back?
No. You wouldn't. It wouldn't strike back. I don't think no one would strike back against 4 or 5 guns.
Nowhere was the outrage over Rodney King's beating more fervently expressed than in LA's black community.
I don't come here today to say that all police officers are bad. I come to say that too many of them are bad if it's one too bad.
Again and again, people we spoke to said the only thing that surprised them about the King beating was that it was videotaped.
It's no one getting beat but the blacks. No one getting beat but the blacks. You stop, like they say, a white man in a Mercedes, he never get beat. It's just the blacks.
Is this type of thing?
Do you believe that stuff like that?
No, I think other people get beat too.
Yeah,
especially back then. I mean, now a lot of police departments have video cameras, and so I think a lot of cops are on their best behavior because they know, especially if they beat somebody up who's black, that they could be doxxed and lose their job and even face prison time. So
And
But
now a lot of cops have cameras on them.
Yes, correct.
Which, funny enough, back when I was in the woke world, so around like 96 to 2016, the woke world, the social justice world, we called it then, the leftist world, we were pushing, the ACLU was pushing for cops, body cams footage on cops. They wanted cops to have cameras. They wanted cop cars to have cameras. So they could have evidence of all this abuse that cops are committing. And what's funny is once all this footage started coming out of perpetrators attacking cops, like things that led up to contentious shootings or police, quote unquote, what would have been in the past called police brutality. Then they started saying, it's a violation of our clients' rights to have cops on cameras. We need to take cops off of camera or cameras off of cops. They went exactly the opposite way. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
It was like, we need to put cameras there to protect people. And then it's like, oh, we need to get rid of cameras to protect people.
So, an unintended unintended consequence of it is that there have been numerous incidents in which I've seen where white cops will be called to some event, like a black woman who's going crazy in Walmart or doing something crazy, and they should arrest this woman and put her down on the ground, do whatever they need to do, put her in the car and take her away. But so many cops are afraid to confront these black women and some black men, but mostly black women, because they're afraid that they will be called racist and that all the sympathy will always be with the black women, not with the white man cop. And so I think it's kind of going the other way in that regards, where a lot of times a lot of these cops are more afraid to intervene into certain situations when they really should, because they know that the media, there will be a trial by media.
Yes.
And they will lose their jobs and possibly, lose their livelihoods.
I think some of that's been called the Ferguson effect, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where there's been this pullback of police force in black neighborhoods or patrols in black neighborhoods or even response time, because people are pulling back because they are afraid of encounters. Cops are pulling back because they're afraid of encounters and they're afraid of being called racist. But it like with anything, it bleeds over, where it's not just in interactions with like this specific demographic, like with black people, it's with all people and with women. I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen a whole ton of videos of white women, SJW woke white women, screaming, like driving their car over barriers, acting like crazy people, and cop videos, like body cam footage of the police officers just like giving them so much grace and rope and taking like hours to try to talk them down, when it's like, you should just arrest them. Like, what is happening?
Like female privilege. Yeah.
Yeah, what is this? They're afraid now, I think.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Let's see where we at here. Yeah, I had so many.
Play a little bit more of this part.
Yeah. Okay.
Thing happens all the time to the black youth in Los Angeles. It's happened to me before, not as severe. I was struck like 3 times by a police officer when I was up at Cal State Northridge. I'm a college student.
I have a lot of friends in the black community. Great number of friends in the black community. Very difficult for them to come forward, but I think they will.
We are stronger than Donald Trump and his public relations machine.
You know who that is, right?
Is that Maxine Waters?
Yes.
Look how old she is. Even there.
Well, she was starting to look like a melted candle. Now she fully looks like a melted candle.
The melted candle. This is 1991.
Yeah, it shows you how long she's been in public office. It's crazy.
This is 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And she's still there.
Yeah.
What is with you guys in California? I mean, I used to be there. What?
I don't know what they see in her.
Why don't you want someone new?
And by the way, is that Casey Kasem to the right?
I think it's Casey Kasem, and somebody just said, "Is that Christy?" Hey, what's up, Christy? Is that Jane Fonda?
Probably is. It's probably celebrities, yeah.
Of course. Okay.
Casey Kasem
But so
coming to
far,
you
most
with
of
the
those
top 10
coming
hits
forward from
against Rodney King.
minority communities have been critics. They have a long history of grievances and complain that racism in the LAPD goes
You
back
skip
generations.
forward to
In the 1920s, there was a fixed quota.
Well, I just saw those 1920s cards.
unless you want to watch it. But okay.
Yeah. I'll skip ahead. Okay, we're skipping ahead to like 1350 here. Let's see.
Yeah, so these are some interviews with cops, and some of them are black, and they're talking about their treatment within the police department.
What happened as a result of that?
Actually, nothing. They painted the walls, and that was the end of that.
The officer who gave me this notice was a female officer who came on the department with that as I did.
What's the story on that?
Well, she said that she was going through a file cabinet in South Bureau of Traffic, and she discovered this statement which says, subject, seagulls, effective immediately. Negroes are no longer to be called niggers or jigs, but seagulls. They cruise all night, they squawk all day, they shit on everybody, and are protected by the federal government.
And where was this?
And this was found in a filing cabinet inside South Bureau of Traffic where she worked.
This racist caricature was left on the desk of another black officer on 4 separate occasions. 2 black officers say that in 1989, they received KKK material at the Foothill Station.
I had heard a lot of things about discrimination and racism within the division, and when I started making complaints about it, it was after that I received my first KKK card. And what happened was I was working with a people.
Just really quickly, somebody's like, how do we know that wasn't fake? We don't. We're just kind of showing you guys, we're trying to set the stage of like what the media was like, what was going on at the time, and what led to a lot of the racial divisions that have now festered into, I would say, if this was stage 1, we're at like a stage 4 now. And the way the media loves this, by the way, they love making it about like this racial group versus this racial group.
Exactly.
One, a probationer, a black officer, and he brought the card downstairs and he said, here, I think this is for you. I found this propped against my locker. And I asked him, I said, why do you think that's for me? He said, because I haven't made any complaints about racism. You have. I'm sure this is for you. But I was put on morning watch shortly after. And after getting off of work, I went to my car, and my car was parked in a police secure parking facility behind the station. And I had another identical card under my windshield wiper on my vehicle.
And this was in a secure parking lot?
This was the only people that can get in there are police officers.
After the King beating, the KKK sent membership applications to LA police divisions. A KKK spokesman boasted 50 officers had responded and a handful had submitted applications, but this could not be verified.
This could not be verified. That sounds like today, right? With all the faking and stuff, like many people say, many people, they signed up. If they were, did they?
Yep. Right, you can fast forward. So
I'm going to skip ahead to, how about 2237?
Okay, I think, that's just the history of racism in LAPD. I don't know if you want to play that or not.
I'm going to show a little bit of it because this is the story they're setting at the time.
Sure. Stories of police brutality appeared regularly in the black press. In 1952, nationally famous blues singer Jimmy Witherspoon claimed the police beat him up. The Witherspoon incident led to public hearings before the Police Commission. That's the civilian panel that oversees the LAPD. Witnesses at that hearing echoed charges that can still be heard today, that the police department didn't take citizens' complaints seriously. Chief Parker turned aside a request to have the Police Commission oversee the complaint process. In 1957, a black woman suffered a miscarriage after police kicked her in the stomach. Incidents like this prompted the NAACP and the American Civil Liberties Union to call for a civilian review board. Chief Parker said a review board would threaten the professional autonomy of the police.
The most disastrous and the worst riot in the history of Los Angeles County.
August 1965. Years of tension culminated in the Watts riots. They raged on for 6 days. In the end, 34 were killed, over 1,000 wounded. Property damage exceeded $40 million. Chief Parker blamed the violence on political instigators.
A great deal of the courage.
This guy looks like he hates
these
Negroes.
rioters possess.
You just look at someone like, I don't think he's fond of black people. Just looking at him. He's got the look. He's got the look.
He's got the look. I don't know. You can't judge that person.
I do it all the time.
You do?
Based upon the continuous attacks by their civil rights organizations upon the police and the constant harassment, police brutality, police brutality, police brutality, and the attempt of the police to accommodate to the situation that gave them the sense that we have these people on the run now. We don't have to really fear the police very much because they're in a defensive position. Now, in addition to that, you have this, what I call political pandering, where they're constantly trying to reach these groups for political balance of power by catering to their emotions.
Governor Edmund G. Brown named.
It's not lost on me that we're watching archival news footage from 1991 and they're showing archival news footage from the 60s about the Watts riots. Because, like, you know, it's like, how far do you trace this back, this division?
People watch archival footage of us 20 years from now.
Maybe,
Like
so, like,
exceptional.
let's look at these idiots. Okay, you want me to skip ahead?
Yeah, you skip ahead. It just goes on more. It goes
You've
to
got
the
something
70s.
here, 29, about the cameraman.
Yeah, I think this is about the George Holiday, I think. The guy who filmed it. So get to hear a little bit from him.
The guy who shot the footage of the Rodney King beating.
Yes.
Okay.
So
let me just say thank you real quick so I don't get behind. Oh, Randy, thank you. Randy Wallen for $9.99. Thanks for the super chat for supporting Popped Culture on Deprogrammed. Says RK, I was on a soundstage at KTLA Sunset and the 101 freeway when it all broke out. Oh, Rodney King, I was on a soundstage. Wow.
That's great.
I had to evacuate an audience and then get ourselves out of there. I was within a couple blocks of fires and rioters when it all happened. Wow.
Scary, man.
That's terrifying. Yeah. 91. No, it wasn't 91. What year was it? It was 91.
92.
92. During the Rodney King riots, the post offices did not burn. Everything around them did, but the post offices did not. Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the news clips I pulled, not sure I put it in there. Doesn't matter. But the reporter, I think it was a black guy the reporter was with, they were pointing out how the shoe stores got robbed, but right next door is like a bookstore and none of the books were taken.
I saw a meme that was like, when you find out that there's a riot happening, but you own a bookstore. And it was like, like, you know, nobody's going to be a bother in these books. Oh, man. Okay. And then one more from Randy says, thank you, Randy, says, before the next episode, you guys have to watch Who Killed Michael Brown by Eli and Shelby Steele. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I'll write that down.
You take a note. He also said Ice Cube did say he regretted that song, but only when he was trying to get a more mainstream audience. Which
So I could do War of the Worlds. A
Yeah.
terrible, terrible movie.
'92 people are saying, yeah.
Yeah, 92.
Lily of the Fox Valley, I was babysitting. I was in middle school, I think. How old were you?
I was young. Too young to fully understand what's going on.
Yeah, I was too young to fully understand. I remember it being on the news, but I was a preteen, teen. Okay, here we go.
Images from George Holliday's videotape are etched in the public's mind, but most people don't know the rest of Holliday's story.
The next day was Monday and we had to go to work. And I got up early and we called the local police department, Foothill Division.
George Holliday, the man who shot the videotape from his apartment balcony, says he intended to offer police the footage, but when he started to report possible police misconduct, the conversation came to an abrupt end.
Told them that I was a neighbor, that I had seen some policemen hitting an individual Sunday morning very early, right across the street from my house. She didn't ask me for any information, and she just told me we don't give out any information. And by the tone of the voice and the way she said it, that was the end of the conversation. We just hung up.
So Holliday turned to the media. He sold the footage to a local TV station.
If they would have used me, asked me, well, what did you see, and gone on from there, they wouldn't have gotten all this bad publicity that they've got.
Holliday's frustration with the police complaint system is all too common, say critics. We have learned of a case that illustrates the problem, one involving Lawrence Powell, one of the officers charged in the King beating. 3 youths claim Powell mistreated them at this Pacoima gas station 2 weeks prior to the King beating. They say their efforts to report the incident were rebuffed by the department. On February 19th, 3 African-American college students were involved in an altercation with a white couple. Lawrence Powell was one of the foothill officers who responded.
He told me to get on my knees, and I told him that I got hurt in my leg. And then all of a sudden, he just like, shut up, stop lying. And I felt like the billy club hit me in my back, and then he kicked me on the back of my legs and made me fall to the ground.
2 of the students, who asked us not to use their names, claim Powell forced them to the ground, handcuffed them, and
What'd you say?
You skip ahead a little bit, or we can move on next. Actually, we'll just move on next because it just goes on to talk about the complaint system and how Daryl Gates, the police chief, it was his job to review these complaints. And I forget what the period was, but apparently out of like 100 or something over a certain amount of time, only 5 of them he decided to move forward with. And so people started accusing him of covering up for police misconduct and brutality. And so that leads to our next clip where blacks in the community started demanding that he be fired and replaced.
I'm really impressed you are able to find all this archival news footage, Chris, because YouTube is so hard to navigate now. Even if I go in specifically with the words I want, what I'm looking for, it shows me like 20 pages of current events.
Yes.
With those words.
Or it's always like CNN and ABC and all the new stuff. Like, oh, we'll see that. We'll see old stuff. So yeah, I just gotta.
Yeah, you're like a FBI agent finding all this stuff. Or somebody with I don't know. You're good at tracking things down. Okay, here we go.
The question of just who does control the police department has become a deeply divisive issue in the city of Los Angeles. Over the weekend, local civil rights activists, joined by the Reverend Jesse Jackson, renewed their call for the chief's resignation.
Why is the whole world looking at Los Angeles? Because what they saw on March 3rd was the Oscars of police brutality.
It is so weird to see like him and Maxine Waters doing their thing like 5 years ago, isn't it?
Yep.
Like, oh, there you are, right? Still doing what you do now.
The Oscars of police brutality.
The Oscars of police brutality. What do you think of him?
I've never taken him seriously.
Yeah, he's just kind of a cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose he's a little bit better than Sharpton. Sharpton seems worse to me, and far as I know, Jesse isn't a Fed like somebody else. But yeah.
Wait, who's a Fed?
Oh, you never heard?
Which one?
So I think Sharpton. So
no.
So I think it was the SmokingGun.com like years ago. Got some court work that talked about how Sharpton agreed to be an informant for the FBI against some mob members. Why does he have connections to the mobs? I don't know, but he did. And so he wore a wire and got information on some of these mob members. Yep.
And so people think he's works on the payroll to cause like racial division or to stoke it when there's a high profile news.
Because I believe too, and I forgot, I believe he got caught with cocaine. And so in order to get out of those charges, he agreed to be the FBI informant.
I believe it. I just thought I would highlight this because it's funny. Mark wants to know, are you an FBI agent, Mystery Chris? And also,
I wish. Give me that FBI
he said, your mystery age, Chris.
Timeless.
Timeless. Okay.
The reaction to the March 3rd beating of Rodney King, a black motorist who was beaten up by white officers, has polarized the city along racial lines. Police critics argue that past remarks by Gates disparaging minorities have set a tone of racism. They contend that all too often blacks and Hispanics are victimized by police.
We must remain resolved to support the police chief and the men and women of the LAPD who risk their lives daily for our public safety.
By contrast, the ranks of Gates supporters have been drawn largely from business groups and white communities, which, like the city council, has been grateful for the police war on crime. In past years, gang crackdowns by the police have drawn praise from many citizens. While some groups complain that civil rights have been violated in the sweeps, night after night, generally favorable publicity boosted the political standing of the police department. The city council, whose members received generous donations from the police union, became allies in the fight against crime.
Please, my friend, please, let me explain.
Over the weekend, one black city council member tried to explain the council's support for the chief.
Go back to Beverly Hills. Go back to Beverly Hills.
The audience was outraged over the councilman's refusal to take a position on whether Gates...
See, all of this would not be happening if it weren't for the media.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like none of these young people who this happens with black people. This happens with white people. I feel like I have to state the obvious sometimes because I have people in the chat sometimes who like to make very broad generalizations. And so obviously this is not just, but they benefit by stoking any kind of division that naturally is going to come from some kind of high profile event and then using it to spread whatever narrative they want us to believe about who they are versus who we are, right? And scapegoating entire peoples. And they benefit from it. And then you get young people like activists out, like these kids in this video who don't know what they're talking about. In my opinion, most of the time you get them activated and you can use them as foot soldiers for whatever it is you're trying to push. Does that make sense? Does it sound too conspiratorial?
No, I agree. And I think the problem, again, like we said earlier, is the lack of nuance to these things. Because was there police brutality happening in these inner city areas? Of course. Was there a lot of crime? And that's one of the reasons why you had a lot of interactions with young blacks and police officers. Yes, that's true too. I mean, both things can be true. And plus, like with George Floyd and Rodney King, a lot of times these high profile incidents of supposed or actual police brutality against blacks, oftentimes these people involved in it aren't the best people, because Rodney King, the reason why he ran from the police was because he was on parole. He had robbed a store some years earlier, so he spent some time in the jail, got released on parole, and he was drinking and driving. And so when the cops started to try to pull him over, he decided to speed up, and so he wouldn't go back to jail.
I didn't even realize he was on parole.
Yep.
Or that he was drinking and driving when they tried to pull him over.
Yeah. He was going anywhere from 95 to 115 miles an hour. It's been reported somewhere between there.
And he tried to escape?
Yes.
I didn't know those facts.
See? I mean, again, there's nuance to these things. I mean, I personally still think that this beating was a bit excessive, but I still think he's a POS for drinking and driving. Could have killed somebody.
That's too nuanced of a take. If we want to start a race war, Mr. Chris, you can't say that. You can't say, yeah, I'm sure there are instances of police brutality and that beating was too brutal, but also he was breaking the law and a danger to society, and also he shouldn't have run. Like, you can't say both things. We need to have a race war.
Yep. That's why I don't get on Twitter much.
Yeah. Okay.
It should be fired.
I am not going to come out for or against until the investigation is complete.
He's saying he's not going to come out against the police chief until there's an investigation. He has more evidence, and they're booing. They're booing.
The mob.
The mob is booing at Nuance. They want a race. You know what I mean? It's like the people often are just like, give me a scapegoat, please.
Although pending investigations will examine police training and performance, the larger issues of police-community relations are now being addressed in a highly politicized environment.
We're joined now by 4 police chiefs from across the country. Reuben Greenberg of Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. South Carolina. What's up, South Kakalaki?
And you can skip this next one. I think this next one just goes more into a little bit of the beating, but we got so much to get to. So, well,
how about the court TV?
It's so hard because like there's so much stuff. Yeah, do court TV.
Okay, because this was huge for court TV, and now we're so accustomed to it. But imagine young people. I did see some people in the chat who were saying they weren't even alive yet when this happened. They were on their way into the world. And so for you've always had cameras in courtrooms, right? Okay, well, we didn't have that growing up. And it was a big deal when they first started putting cameras in courtrooms. Some of the first few cases were the Rodney King trial, the O.J. Simpson trial, the Betty Broderick trial. Like those were some of the ones that really made it this phenomenon where people were like tuning in to watch it. And if you grew up later and you're used to it, by the time we got to Casey Anthony or things like that, you're like, oh, this always happens. No, it didn't always happen. It was a new phenomenon to have cameras in the courtroom, to treat it like this, like entertainment, like where we're going to have all of the public watch, right?
Yeah. So let's just show a little bit of this, because again, it was hard to kind of narrow down to what specifically, but just show a little bit.
Michael Stone is also a former police officer.
Will be that Los Angeles police officers, like most other police officers in departments throughout the state, are trained in the escalation and de-escalation of force, and that as the suspects' movements and activities create an increase in the threat to the officer, or an increase in the resistance to arrest, or an increase in the attempt to escape, the officers are taught to escalate force. As the suspect becomes more compliant, or ceases the threat, or ceases the resistance, the officers are taught to de-escalate the force. And you'll hear testimony that practically every level except excessive force, every level of force was used in this case. Every level of force except deadly force.
Attorney Paul DePasquale is representing Officer Timothy Wynn. Although Wynn had been an officer in Kansas for 7 years, he had only 4 months' experience on the LAPD. DePasquale uses Wynn's inexperience as a defense.
It will not be the case that Tim Wynn had experience dealing with people under the influence of PCP. He had training, he had education, he had been informed and educated that in dealing with PCP suspects, in dealing with dusters, police officers have been killed. Tim Wynn dealt with the situation as it then unfolded in accordance with his training and with his experience.
DePasquale.
Should I skip ahead a little bit?
Yeah, skip ahead.
I want to skip ahead to the defense closing and the prosecution closing, because the big thing to take away, if you're young and you weren't around when this happened, or if you were young and you were around, but like us, you were pretty young and you weren't an adult yet, and so you weren't really understanding all the repercussions of this. One of the big things to take away is that when these white cops, and there was a video, and by this time the video had been shown so many times, especially like people pointed out the clip of the video, and they had been stoking all this racial division, and there was an expectation of what the verdict was going to be. And so when the verdict came down, it caused so much anger. It caused so much, and it led to these riots, and then in part led to what we're going to cover in another episode. Some people think it led to the O.J. Simpson verdict. Okay, so
the risk and the threat to his own personal safety that was occasioned by the incident that these officers confronted that night. But so that we can safely enjoy our lives, I decline the challenge to play the video again. You can play the video all you want. Backwards, forwards, slow motion. It'll be available for you as a piece of evidence. I've seen it enough, and I think you have too.
This incident unfolded about 90 days after Tim Wind hit the street as a probationary police officer for the city of Los Angeles. No, that does not deny his responsibility for his own actions, but yes, indeed, I suggest you must keep that in mind. You must consider that.
Defense attorney Paul DiPasquale has gambled on a low-profile strategy for his client. Timothy Wind was the only defendant who did not take the stand. DiPasquale accepts the prosecution's challenge to play the video. He asks the jurors to watch the tape in slow motion, focusing on Wind only. He argues that every blow, each checked swing, is a direct response to Rodney King.
Mr. King is still moving far higher than a push-up position. Coming around, his head comes around. You see Tim Wind appear to start a swing, and as Mr. King's head is coming into that area of swing, watch Tim Wind check swing, just like in baseball. Check swing to not hit Mr. King in the head.
In his closing argument, John Barnett focuses on the two key acts Officer Ted Brasenio is seen doing on the tape.
The prosecutor, Mr. White, stood before you and told you what Officer Brasenio did was unreasonable, that what Officer Brasenio did was not only wrong, but that it rose to a criminal offense. You got to get into Officer Brasenio's shoes at 12:45 and judge his actions from that perspective. What did he do? What act did he commit to get here? More importantly, what was he trying to do? He was trying to put his foot in the back shoulder area of Mr. King so that he could control Mr. King, so that he could stop the beating. That's what he tried to do. Whether he hit the shoulder or the base of the neck, that really doesn't matter. You're to determine what was in his head, what was in Officer Brasenio's heart, what was in his soul when he did that.
Next, Barnett focuses on what he portrays as an act of courage on the part of his client.
Of all the police officers at the scene, one officer steps forward and tries to stop his fellow officers. And that policeman sits there, and it's Officer Theodore Brasenio. He is the only one who tried to stop this beating. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? Ted Brasenio seeks to intercede on behalf of Mr. King, and his reward is an indictment.
The final argument is made by the attorney for Sergeant Stacy Kuhn.
Towards the beginning of it, where they're beating King, and one of the cops raises his baton up. He's about to hit King, and then Brasenio puts out his hand and goes, "No, stop." And then King starts to get up off the ground, and then that's when cops start beating him again. So throughout the video, there are times when Rodney King appears to try to get himself up off the ground, but the cops keep beating him every time he does that. And I don't understand why 10 plus cops couldn't hold this guy down and arrest him. Like, why do you need to keep beating the dude? I get it. He's drunk and he keeps trying to get up, but it just, in my mind, seems a bit excessive.
A bit excessive. Like, just put handcuffs on him.
Yeah.
So what they were being tried for, also, just so people know, is they were being tried for assault and excessive force. And so you can see each of them has like a lawyer there who's making final closing arguments. And then I think we're about to see the prosecutor's closing arguments.
Yeah.
And I propose to you that Sergeant Kuhn's truth was the same on that night as it was when he testified. That he told you the best he could, that he took accountability for his officers, and he said, I am responsible for my officers. And I ordered that to prevent something else. Sergeant Kuhn is not a criminal and should not be charged criminally in this case.
While Munger has the last word for the defense, prosecutor Terry White gets the last word in the trial. In his second chance to sum up the case for the jury, White focuses on Officer Powell with a vengeance.
Why is it every time, every piece of evidence regarding Lawrence Powell that's bad, it's somebody else's fault? It's Terry White's fault. It's Alan Yokelson's fault. It's Ted Brasino's fault. It's Lawrence Davis' fault. It's never this man's fault. Why not? This is the man, and look at him. This man laughed. This man taunted.
Check. All right, Mr. White, get back to the podium, please, and confine your argument to the podium.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This man laughed. This man taunted, and he's denying it. He's denying it. How many times did we play that tape in here? And was that not laughter? Was that not chuckling? Was that not giggling? Well, what was funny out there? Desperate men do desperate things, and these three defendants have been doing desperate things for the last 6 weeks. You don't need to be an expert to look at that video and say that is wrong, that is bad, that is criminal.
Closing arguments are now complete. Next, the judge will
unless you want to hear what the judge says, but yeah.
No, we should get to the verdict. Should I play this verdict report?
Yes, play the verdict report.
Okay.
So the match that lit the fuse. So I think this is the ABC one. And like I said earlier, ABC did some pretty decent reporting. Like, I think it's ABC.
Yeah.
Publicized trials in U.S. history. Many believed that the video tape was more than enough evidence to convict the 4 Los Angeles police officers, but the all-white jury saw it another way.
We would like to say that this experience has been an extremely difficult and stressful one which we have all agonized over a great deal.
Almost everyone has heard about or seen the videotape beating of California motorist Rodney King. Chattanoogan, Maryland Ashford was shocked by the verdict.
It's just unnecessary beating. To me, it was just unnecessary. And I'm surprised they let him go. Oh, I am surprised.
Chris Hunt was also surprised, but he says he trusts the jury.
If the jury found them not guilty, I think they know more than what I know. Based on what I saw, they appeared to be guilty, but apparently the jury found out something more.
Charles Cox wonders why Rodney King didn't take the stand in the trial.
If they'd have put King on the stand and he'd have told his side of it, I might have changed my mind. But I had a feeling that if he didn't take the stand to tell what he was doing and what he had done and what his record was, just being out of prison a few days, that there was something more to it than what we seen on that tape.
But some folks say the acquittal makes police think they are above the law.
When they do something, it seems like it's okay, with the law.
I just have to compliment his hat game.
Okay.
City Councilman Yusef
Okay.
Hakeem.
You cut it there. Can you pull up that ABC report right underneath it? So
Is it 25 years after?
Or the 1998 one. So it says 1998 ABC report. And so this report obviously came out in 1998, and they actually talked about how a lot of the media cut off the very beginning of the tape. And this may have changed a lot of people's minds if they had seen it.
So people were, at least according to the media, and we're about to get into some of the riot footage, because people were not happy and the media was stoking that. And they were basically saying, you know, this was a travesty of justice. These white cops were only acquitted because they're white. They were only acquitted because the jury was mostly white and they moved it to Simi Valley away from Los Angeles. And this is all evidence of racism. This jury's verdict is evidence of racism. And so the riots started, and we're about to show that. But to give you some... What?
I'm sorry. This is the wrong link. The one underneath it. That's the
okay.
One. Sorry, go ahead.
The other story, that one?
Yes. The Rodney King beating. I think that's the one.
The other story. Okay.
So
hold on.
This one. They're actually kind of surprised that they kind of corrected the record, which they, again, watching some of the ABC reports from that time, some of them did talk a little bit about the other things that I mentioned earlier about him drinking and driving and stuff, but other news outlets didn't report that at all.
Are you sure it's this one here, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
All 4 officers off of him, probably a total body weight of 600 pounds. He just picked them up and threw them off like rag dolls.
While King denies that happened, other witnesses say the officers did try to secure King by using the so-called swarm technique. But that occurred before the videotape rolled, as did the freeway chase King led police on at speeds up to 115 miles per hour before he finally pulled over and got out of his car. What's more, the first part of the tape, which shows King rising up and lunging toward Officer Larry Powell, was rarely shown on TV. That's because those few seconds were followed by this blurry section, and most TV news departments chose to edit out all of it.
So the videotape that we
nice
think we know,
they just
I thought
What'd you
cut
say?
it out because I thought it was like a nice little cover saying like, oh, they just cut it out because it's blurry. Like, no, it's very important that
they didn't
part
cut
right
it out
before it
because
gets
it was blurry.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
They edited it out because it shows him lunging at the cops before. That might change your opinion as a viewer if you just see the beating versus seeing him going after the cop at the beginning. Like it may not change your opinion, but the point is they cut out context.
Yeah. And so you don't play any more for that. That news story goes on to profile some of the police. One of the police, I forget which one, but he talked about how after the trial, he obviously lost his job. He couldn't get hired at very many places. His wife actually couldn't get hired in a number of places. During the trial, they put up stuff in their child's bedroom to kind of protect it from any bullets that people might try to shoot into the house, because they were getting death threats. And so it's crazy, but we don't have time to show all that. But I guess we can get into the riots starting if you want to go to that.
Is that this one? Because it looks like it's taking me back to the video we showed at the beginning. It looks like it might be the wrong link. The most infamous police brutality case in the world.
Oh, don't worry about it. Go to the where it says the riot starts and pull up that link. And so this one shows the very beginning of the riot, which happened near Florence and Normandy in South Central. And this was actually from an A&E. Is it?
Yeah, I can't get that one to work. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Give us 1 second.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay,
So
here we
just-
go.
okay,
Is it
got it.
Anatomy of a Riot?
Correct.
Okay, I got it.
So if it's go to the
Do the music. We'll be right back. Okay.
By now, the image is all too familiar. The beating
Go to
of
minute
Rodney King
31, please.
on April 29th, 1992. The police.
What'd you say?
Minute 31, please. Yeah, we're gonna skip around because there's so many. places
This
in
is where it all begins, 71st and Normandy. At approximately 4 o'clock, 1 hour after the police officers are acquitted, a call comes in to the 77th Street Police Division in South Central LA. Man being beaten, 71st and Halldale. 30 minutes later, another call. Officer needs assistance. What follows is the spark that sets off the greatest civil unrest in American history. The crowd is hostile, defiant, over what they believe is police brutality. Members of the LA street gang, the Crips, along with neighbors and friends, fight back. Police set up a perimeter to protect the arresting officers.
Okay, can you skip to 340, please?
Yeah, there are some eagle-eared viewers in the chat who noticed that that's Bill Curtis narrating. I, too, am a fan of Bill Curtis.
Great voice.
He's a
340?
340. You can just feel this tension. And
yes, it just builds.
It just builds.
Like I want to show also what happened at the police station, the headquarters too. You can see how the tension builds there. It just gets out of control so quickly. It's frightening. Mobs are terrified.
The media created this and they love it. That's my contention. There's other things that are true too, but that's one thing that's true is the media loved this racial riot war.
It's ratings.
It's good for ratings.
With each passing minute. Then the order comes down from Lieutenant Mike Mullen to leave the scene and regroup at the Riot Command Center.
Go to 439.
439.
Yes, please.
With the police leaving, a reporter suddenly finds himself in harm's way. They demand his film. The order to leave the area will come under heavy criticism and will be investigated by federal authorities. LA Police Chief Daryl Gates will dismiss Lieutenant Mike Mullen.
You can go to 556.
Florence in Normandy, late afternoon. A Volvo with a 7-month infant in the back seat is attacked. Neighbors watch as innocent people are made victims of the violence and hatred of the young, many of whom belong to street gangs. Outsiders are not welcome and are pelted with rocks, street signs, any other ammunition that's handy.
What would you do? You have your baby in the car. People are attacking your baby in your car, jumping in your car. I would be running some people over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't stop.
Don't stop. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Members of the 71st Street Hustlers, a subgroup of the Crips, lead the assault. The fortunate turn their cars around to flee, but most are unsuspecting of the danger.
If this were a comedy sketch about the riots, there would be like a woke white woman showing up right now, like, I'm just looking for the Racial Equality Center. You know, it would be like some woke white lady with blue hair, like driving in, like, I'm one of you.
I brought some bricks.
I brought some bricks, guys. And they would start attacking her. And she'd be like, what's happening? I'm with you guys. took a racial justice seminar. Don't attack my car.
My daughter dated a black guy once.
My daughter dated a black guy. Named my adopted baby Akeem.
Police drive through the intersection without stopping. It does little to deter the crowd.
I do a show with my friend, Mystery Chris.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
The crowd
Surprised
rages
this person
with
get their
hatred for
camera
police
stolen.
and anyone who does not.
Yes, like who is shooting this? They must be blending in. It must be a black gentleman.
Yes. But did he steal the camera? No.
Police drive through the intersection without stopping. It does little to deter the crowd.
Just one more. I just have to get this because it's funny. Robert Lowry. Hello, fellow justice warriors. So, a white woke lady driving in with blue hair. Hello, fellow woke warriors. I'm here to join the riots.
The crowd rages with hatred for police and anyone who does not belong.
You mean anyone is not black? See, there were some news reports like who said that. Like there were reporters who were like, hey, they're going after people who aren't black, white people, Asian people, everybody.
Yeah.
But some people are like, oh, they're just going after people who aren't from around here.
Who aren't
Just
from
saying.
around here.
Crowd is racist. They're going after non-black people.
They're going after, yeah, pretty obvious how they're determining who doesn't belong. One more from Good Grief. I voted for Jesse Jackson.
The violence escalates further as a motorist tries unsuccessfully to speed through the intersection.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at that. That's terrible.
Wow. Wow.
He barely manages to get away with his life.
Can you go to the 11-minute mark, please?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Again, police drive through the intersection without stopping, and again, they are ineffective.
Can you go to 11 minutes, please? 11-minute mark.
Henry Watson, his shirt apparently stained with blood, searches for victims. Takeo Hirata is on his way home from work. Rioters attack his car and bring it to a stop. He is beaten and robbed.
These are innocent people.
Yeah.
And the mob is just like, you're going to pay. You're not black. We're going to target you.
Well, they should hate black people after this. I wouldn't blame them.
And yet I don't. This is a mob. This is a mob.
Can you go to the 15-minute mark? I had so many timestamps on this. We'll get to Reginald Denny in a moment, but go to the 15-minute mark.
Okay. This is South Central Los Angeles. Yeah. And this is Hispanic and African American? Yeah. You get along well?
Yeah.
So we got this for.
As dusk falls on Florence and Normandy, the
Wait, what was that he was pointing to? It says this is what I got this for.
Let's see very
They're
well.
getting hit. It's because the reason the cops don't care.
This is South Central Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And this is Hispanic and African American.
Yeah.
You get along well?
Yeah. So we got this for.
Is it a gun?
Is it a gun? I don't think so, but maybe. He said, "Do you guys get along?" Yeah, but that's what we got this for. Maybe it's some kind of weapon.
Peace through strength.
As dusk falls on Florence and Normandy, the intersection is looking more and more like a war zone.
Give me just 1 second. Look, TS, you know that we have some major disagreements, but I appreciate you being here. Just like I appreciate when woke leftist people are here who I have major disagreements with. And I appreciate you being civil even when we disagree or you disagree with people. But let me say something where you're trying to say, LOL, poor innocent Keri. No, it's the thing is, this is obviously they. How can I put this into words that maybe would reach or something? They want to do the same thing to you and to us and to me, to everyone that they've done to the people who've fallen for this like race war propaganda and they're out in the streets rioting. I've seen mobs of woke white people as well. I've seen mobs of people being just as crazy. It's not one specific demographic. Are there differences in crime statistics and all that? Yes, of course, and we can talk about that separately. But to watch this happen and then say this is a black thing instead of like this is a human thing, this is a sin thing, I don't know. I don't respond to that. Do you disagree, Mystery Chris? Are you more racially?
We talked about this off air, but when I was doing research for this, I went into did research on history of race riots, and from what I could tell, like prior to the 1960s, a lot of those race riots were white people going around murdering black people, and especially like during Civil War, you had the draft riots. A lot of whites didn't want to be drafted to go fight in the Union Army. You had St. Louis, I think it was St. Louis in 1911 or 1908. I think Springfield, Illinois, Atlanta, 1906. I was reading about one in Illinois where a black person was accused of, or I guess I could say, raping a white woman. And the white mob showed up at the police station, obviously wanting to, murder him. So the police moved him out to a different city, but that pissed off the mob. So they burned down a police station and then went around looking for blacks to not only lynch, but torture in other ways. Like there was a section of town that was a lot of interracial couples because that was kind of tolerated at the time up until then. And so a lot of their mob's hatred was directed at the black men who were married to white women. And there was one story about an 84-year-old man who was married to a white woman. When the mob came to his house, his family went out the back, but he was disabled. He couldn't go with them. So the mob pulled him out, took an axe, hit him in the head, split his head open with the axe. There was other incidents where people were slashing throats of blacks with razor blades. And so it's like, it's just a human thing. Like human beings are just, we have the capacity to do great evil. It just takes the right circumstance.
Yes. And it's kind of like that meme. Have you seen that meme where this person's saying the Jews killed Jesus, and then somebody's correcting him and saying, no, the Romans killed Jesus. And then a third person is correcting them and saying, no, human beings killed Jesus. Like you could also say men killed, it was men, no, it was human being. You're missing the point of human sin and your own capacity for evil if you're making it like a scapegoat group is this, and only scapegoat group does this. Not true. Are there differences in behavior and traits between ethnic groups and between men and women? Yes, of course. And you can talk about all those things, but when you reach this place of essentialism where you're like, this is only done by this group, or only this group does this. It's like, okay, no, they've just like turned you into something that they can control and manipulate. And I don't want to be controlled and manipulated.
We can move on to, let's see, let's move on to Reginald Denny, the infamous Reginald Denny attack. And so,
I can we see just a little bit more?
Oh,
of
you
this,
want to watch
right?
a little bit more? Sure.
No, I know we're taking quite a bit, but this is just, it's so insane. Let me just show just one more little snippet of it.
Sure.
Because I know you had marked where are we at?
I think I marked the 1630.
We'll move on. Let's move on to Reginald Denny. You're right.
Okay. So, yeah, so Reginald Denny, it's hard to watch still. I know it's awful, but I think this is kind of the face of the riots in terms of the brutality for Reginald Denny. And this is, let's see. He did live through this, by the way. He's still alive, but still, it's hard to believe anyone survived this.
This is the face of the riots, you're saying, Reginald Denny.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one people know. Can you see that?
Yes.
And Latino motorists. Tom's liquor store on the corner was looted. Around 6:45 p.m., truck driver Reginald Denny pulled from his cab. Media attention turned this one attack into the symbol of them all.
Oh, look at that. Terrible. And there's no police presence down here. They will not enter the area.
It all happens so
dancing, that just bothers me so much, man. Just the gloating of it's just evil.
The dancing and the gloating part.
And we'll get to their trial later. We'll talk about the trial of his attackers too.
After treating a human being like that, after doing that to a human being.
Then the kind of glee, the body language of the people who were attacking him. There was no recognition that this was another human being. It's such an extreme situation. It's what I see is myself. That's what I see. I see myself. That is what's taken over in that Denny situation is mob violence, mob psychology. If you push people far enough, they go bonkers. We're capable of anything. I'm capable of anything under stress, and so are you.
Yeah, you stop it there.
That's interesting because that's kind of the point we were making before we showed that, what he's saying about like the capacity for human evil, and people who deny their own capacity for evil. Those are the ones that scare me the most. Because if you don't think you could do something evil, then you probably want to be the one to do something evil because you're not even aware of it.
I really want to show, I know we got so much to get through, but I really want to show just a little bit of the riot that broke out in front of the police headquarters.
Is that the verdict reactions part?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull that one up next. And then I want to thank Randy, who has given a generous super chat. $19.99. Thank you, Randy Wallen. He says the research and data collection for this was a lot of work. Kudos to Mystery Chris, if that is your real name.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
A few bucks on me, please. Thank you very much, Randy.
Yeah, nice of you.
Very nice of you. Okay.
And so this is kind of like what we just showed with Florence and Normandy thing. You can see the tension just build. The crowd gets crazier and crazier. And it's just like what we saw during 2020. It's like just sometimes I'm like, what year is this? I'm like, what am I watching? But
it's
yeah,
like
you're going to have
the madness of crowds. It's like that book where people just get more and more. I've heard, one thing that happens is the riot threshold thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where they've done studies where they're like, they give people a different number for like their riot threshold, where there's not very many people who are 0. There's not very many people who are like the first person in a mob to like pick up a brick and throw it, but there might be one person who does that. Okay. But then there are going to be more ones, and ones are the people who, if they see one person doing it, then they're going to do it. And then there's even more 2s, and if they see 2 people doing it, they're going to do it, and it just spreads like that, the madness, where you get like one person who has that threshold of 0 who does it, and then you get more people willing to engage in it. The madness takes over.
Yeah. And so this, let's see. So you're going to have to skip around a bit, but this is right after the verdict was announced.
You want me to start at 1:15?
Yes. Or actually, 0's. Well, I think 0's fine. Just play a little bit of this to show the initial reaction of people, the reporter interviews.
Okay, I'm here outside Parker Center where protesters have descended on the place. It was during Chief Gates' news conference. They got here. It's been growing steadily. With me is one of the protesters. He cannot give his name, but tell me, how do you feel about all of this?
Let me just, I know I'm cutting it off again, but it just strikes me seeing this young guy wearing a shirt, Gates must go. And it's so similar to today, where they get woke protesters, blue-haired Antifa people, BLM people out in the streets, waving signs, wearing shirts, wearing the Handmaid's outfit. These people are just tools. They don't even realize they're tools, but they're just a part of this play. They're actors in this play, and it's being scripted for them almost.
Yeah, people are easily programmed.
Easily programmed.
I feel that it's a great travesty of justice. I feel that the jury in Simi Valley gave the okay to continue to abuse and oppress and suppress Black people in this country. I feel that there is an undercurrent of racism and that the system is rotten to the core. And I couldn't sit in my home and just watch it on television. I had to come here and let my voice be heard.
Where are these people from? And Pat, maybe you can go and show a little bit of the protest here. Where are these people from?
I think most of them, like myself, came down as individuals. I think we just decided that we were not going to sit at home and just like couch potatoes.
You can.
Do you have any sense this is organized, or is this going to keep growing? What is it?
I don't know if it's going to keep growing. I hope it keeps growing. We need all the support we can. I mean, we are his peers. We're the group of peers. You know, I don't understand this. I talked with one lady. It seems like to me the media wants to hype violence. You know, it's not about violence, but if it comes to that, then that's something we have to deal with when it comes about.
Oh, okay. It's not about violence, but it might come to that. If it comes to that, that's the way but that language that's being used there is, what do you call that language where you take yourself out of it? You take your responsibility out of it. It's a passive language. If it comes to that, not like if our crowd, if our movement gets violent, but if it happens, who's happening it? Like it doesn't just happen. I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
Skip ahead.
Around it near Parker Center downtown, all of the officers in the Central Division are being instructed to put on their helmets with shield.
What'd you say?
Oh, 550, please.
5:15?
550, sorry.
Oh, okay. We're almost there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Moved for about 15 minutes. They've been kind of taunting the police officers. Pat, if you can show right here the line of police officers, they're all there waiting. Look at it goes all the way back to the police door back there. You can see all cops all the way back there, and they've been waiting. Now the protesters over here are just kind of gathering energy, and they kind of advance toward the officers, and then they pull back, and they advance and they pull back. So it's kind of a game of chicken, if you will, in that they are just kind of waiting them out and waiting to see what they're going to do. Now, earlier we had quite a scene where
mark, please.
The protesters did storm the doors of Parker Center, and you can see they broke the glass.
Let's watch.
Demonstration there been going on this afternoon and tonight. Police are moving in on somebody.
It's just been a face-off until
It looks like they're moving now. Looks to me
They were
like the
saying that back
demonstrators are
then.
either moving out or
They're saying what?
No justice, no peace. They were saying that even back then.
No justice, no peace. We're very familiar with that, aren't we?
Yeah.
moving or changing locations.
Like they're leaving the grass in front of the building and getting back on the sidewalk. Does that seem like that to you?
If you can hear me, this is Linda Brake.
Go, Linda. Go.
Right in the middle of it, as you can see, they're throwing bottles and rocks at the officers. They're trying to drive the officers back into Parker Center.
It's yours, Linda.
that little white lady's like, I'm here in the thick of it. She looks a little nervous.
President's in the black guy out there.
Right.
You tell us what you see.
Keep talking. Right now they drove them back and they've stopped on this end. Let's turn around. Let's turn around this way. Let's turn around this way. We are hearing loud noises. I don't know what they are.
You can go to 15
Sounds like they're throwing bottles again. That's the same sound we heard earlier when they were throwing the bottles. So I assume that is what's going on.
Linda, have you seen anybody?
That as you can see, we're walking, getting closer into that. We're throwing things at that.
Linda, are you afraid?
No.
You got anybody there that's sort of running it?
She said, yeah, right?
She said no.
She said no?
Did she say yeah? Did she say yeah or no? It sounded like she said no.
I thought she
just
said yeah. Linda, are you afraid? Yeah.
We're walking, getting closer into that. We're throwing things at that.
Linda, are you afraid?
No.
You got anybody there that's sort of running interference for you?
I have my cameraman.
They all think she said no. It sounds like yeah.
It sounds like she said no.
Sounds like she goes, yeah.
She doesn't want to show fear in front of them. They could smell it.
I think she's. Let me see what the closed caption says.
Linda, are you afraid?
No.
You got anybody there that's
closed caption says no.
That's what I thought.
Sort of running interference for you?
I have my cameraman. You sound it here now. They're turning us over. Take a look. You can see that.
Linda, how about now? Linda. What are you doing there, Linda? God. This is like a comedy sketch itself. Like Linda.
This was a police guard shack on the grounds of Parker Center. Here we go.
We are going to wait and see what happens.
You can see right now they're just jumping on it. They're tearing it up. They're smashing it with their feet.
Well, this has changed a lot since the beginning when it was more or less a war of nerves between the two sides, and now it seems to be more violent, Linda.
I think she got her cord pulled.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, as the numbers swelled, they suddenly, about a half an hour ago, just got more militant and started burning things and started advancing. And as I said, they regrouped to the back and then just all together with that big knot of people. I would say at least 1,000 people here now with that big knot advanced forward. And that's when it all started out. And as you see here,
go to what?
16:30.
I'm locked in now.
I know. It's
I
so
want to know
much.
what happens to Linda. Where is she today? Somebody look up this news reporter. What channel is this? I want to see what she's doing today. Did this make her career?
Probably moved to
Stay with you as long as we can see something and hear you. Well, that's it.
can you see anything at this point?
No, Linda.
They are switching batteries. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll just verbally describe this. Is that all right?
Linda, let me tell you what's going on. We're looking at the fires and looting in South Central, and we're hearing you. So keep talking.
Okay, as you're looking at the fires in South Central, you have small little fires. They just exploded. It's like a Molotov cocktail. They just threw a Molotov cocktail right in the middle of the knot of people that you were just looking at a little while ago.
You're live, Dave.
And they were, glass just flew everywhere here. So as you're seeing the big fires down there, you're certainly seeing smaller fires. They look like they're trying to set a bonfire with the wood remains of this guard shack. They're throwing pieces of the plywood from the guard shack into
Dave, you ready to
a small fire. We have smoke now. Do you have video here?
Did you hear that? Burn the flag.
But look what kind of flag this guy in the upper right hand corner has.
You can see.
Okay, now you see the smoke.
We can see the fire.
There you go. There.
Linda, while we're looking at you, we can tell you now.
What flag does he have?
Mexican flag.
Oh.
Kind of like today, huh?
Kind of like today.
At least 5 major fires have broken out in South Central.
I mean, the only difference is there's not as many gays yet at these leftist protests, like these riots, these leftist riots. There's more gays today. But
have the police responded to any of them yet?
It's dark. The fire department responded to one. We have not seen any evidence they've responded to the others. What's that flag there? Is that the
flag of Mexico? I believe.
What is the?
Why would somebody do that?
He was about to ask, what is the point of the Mexican flag? Did you hear him? He goes, what is the... He just gives up. Did you hear that?
Out in South Central.
Have the police responded to any of them yet?
It's dark. The fire department responded to one. We have not seen any evidence they've responded to the others. What's that flag there? Is that the
flag of Mexico? I believe.
What is
the? He just gave up. And just wait, dude. Wait 35 years, and then you're gonna be like, "What's that Palestinian?" Never mind. What's that queers for never mind.
I better not. Oh.
They're gonna. What's that? Better not. Ow. Okay.
All right. And that's enough of this. You
okay.
Cut this one off.
That was unintentionally funny. Okay. I think somebody has some info on the anchor.
Oh,
actually,
researchers.
Randy Wallen says the male anchor is Paul Moyer. He is the father of a friend of mine, highly respected news anchor in Los Angeles for decades.
Nice.
Very cool. I'm glad you had that knowledge, that personal connection. I did look up. I think that reporter is Linda Deutsch. And I think she passed away at the age of 80.
Oh.
The one who was that Linda that we were just watching, I think.
How old was she then?
Unless this is a different Linda who covered.
She looked that old. Maybe in 30s or so.
I gotta find out. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I'll keep looking. Okay, what are we going to next?
Do you want to do the NBC LA riot report?
Let's do that.
This is right underneath that.
NBC LA riot report?
Yes. And this one. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. Then we'll do right.
Linda Breakstone. I had the wrong Linda.
Oh.
It says it's Linda Breakstone.
Good job, Robert.
Rhaegar Targaryen says, "What's that cows for Burger King flag?" Oh, never mind. Why do they have the Mexican? What's that pink triangle on the rainbow?
Right, this is the same one.
Have the police responded to any of them yet?
That's the same one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I put the right one. Make sure I put the right one in there. Yeah, there's so much stuff online.
Yes, this is this one's called A Colorblind Orgy of Wrecking and Taking.
I hope this is the right one. I'm like, I don't remember that title, but I assume so. Okay.
Luther tried to explain what has been going on in this dreadfully troubled city.
It's a way for people to vent their frustration, and then they're like targeting Korean-owned businesses and white businesses.
And yet, what we have seen seemed more a colorblind orgy of wrecking and taking. What has happened to people?
So help me God, I never seen parents teaching children to steal.
If I had done that, my mom would beat the stuffings out of me if she had called me stealing. But these parents teaching their kids to steal, I can't understand it. But they ever take their kids to church? Do they ever teach them to believe in Jesus? I don't believe this stuff. I just can't.
I love that guy.
Mm.
He's right.
Yeah.
Don't they teach their kids? Don't they take them to church?
I don't believe this stuff. I just can't.
Who could believe this? Looters of every race and color, just like their victims.
22 years down the drain. I mean, can people realize what they're doing is wrong? This is not the way to overcome racism.
They don't care. They really don't care. There's like, once people have given themselves over to evil, like they don't care that they're hurting you. It's like them pulling him out of the truck and beating him and dancing. They don't care.
And merchants in neighborhoods of every color picked through the scraps the looters had left behind. And what could they say?
There was a little 9 or 10-year-old and her mother. They were walking out with baskets full of brushes and combs and stuff like that.
And what did looters call this? They said, we're going shopping. A store overstocked for Mother's Day. Nothing left.
Why? Do you know? I don't know. Why? Why Korean people? Why?
And nearby, a boy answered.
Everybody hates him. That's why they charge too much money.
Everybody was doing it. Why? Hispanics, black.
And in this lawless...
Oh my gosh. You see this jerk off on the right?
Yeah.
Look at him with his gun. He's holding up a gun and he's a bad guy. Oh, I'm a bad dude.
And also, a lot of people think it's just a black riot, but according to arrests, 51% of the people arrested were Hispanic. So it wasn't just us black.
51% of the people arrested were, well, he did call it a colorblind orgy of looting and taking.
It's mostly black and Hispanic. I mean, obviously, yeah, there will be some white people, even some Asians, but they're much smaller percentage.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
And in this lawless place, order broken down, people guard their stores with guns.
They can't disarm us because nobody else is going to protect your business. Nobody.
In black ghettos, some businesses tried this.
Oh, did you see that? That's like today, modern day, when there's leftist riots, Antifa and BLM and all the Queers for Palestine and everyone out rioting, and the business owners will put in their storefront windows BLM signs, Black Lives Matter, like don't hurt us. We're one of you. Ugh.
I've seen advertisements in the newspaper for businesses in Austin where they'll say like LGBTQ friendly. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
yeah. Oh, they totally. It's and by the way, it doesn't work. We all saw during the BLM riots, like they were rioting black businesses. They were killing black people. They didn't care.
Yeah.
You could put black owner there. They don't care. It's just about pillaging, looting, killing. It's about doing evil. It doesn't matter. You can say, I'm one of you. It doesn't matter.
Tried this. Often it didn't work.
Often it didn't work. Yeah.
It's not right what y'all doing. I came from the ghetto too.
And a man who had overcome all the...
This guy's going to make me cry.
Yeah, this guy is...
It's going to make me cry. Wait, let's go back.
Ghetto too.
And a man who had overcome all the afflictions of a blighted inner city, who had built a store that was the work of his life, saw it all come down and asked why.
You mad the white man? Why destroy my business? Why destroy my truck? Why steal my computer? I'm trying to make it. Could you understand that? Did y'all see it? I'm trying to make it.
And now it's gone. Keith Morrison, NBC News, Los Angeles.
You'll be happy to know it does end happy, I guess you can call that. There was another piece, I didn't put it in the show links, but apparently people saw that guy on TV and donated money to him, and he was able to open up a new space. He had a pest control company, And so
That guy.
yeah, he was able to rebuild.
It's something about like when you see because men are more stoic, or men who are not leftist men are more stoic. They're not as emotional, and traditionally men are more stoic. That when you see a man move to that kind of emotion, it just gets me more. I don't know why. It's just more like, it's like seeing your dad cry. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's very rare. Most people only ever see their dad cry once or twice, maybe, if at all. It's just, it punches you in the stomach. Okay.
Yeah, crazy. Let's show some reports on riots in other cities. So I put two of them because they're both so good. See, I had a hard time narrowing this down, as you can tell. There are so many good links. But yeah, this is something I didn't even know. I don't even remember reports on riots spreading to other cities, even smaller towns too. Like, it's crazy when you see some of these
I didn't know this either.
Yeah.
But again, we were young and on the other side of the country and not adults. So I didn't know. Maybe some of the adults here knew that this was spreading, kind of like the BLM riots today spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
By daybreak, there had been 40 arrests, only a few minor injuries. Seattle's mayor took to the airwaves to ease fears in his city.
The city is safe and under control. The buses are running, and everyone can come to work.
In Eugene, Oregon, protesters vented their anger on the federal building, breaking windows and doors.
Wow. Wow, Oregon. You guys have always had a lot of crazy people. Look at these. These are like early proto wokesters. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are like early, like 90s proto white woke people. Look at that white guy right there. Of course it's in Oregon.
Yeah, white people go crazy.
White people.
Protesters vented their anger on the federal building, breaking windows and doors. It began as a peaceful rally of about 200 people organized by the Black Student Union at the University of Oregon.
All
Did
two
you
black
see
students. It's all white people.
Yeah, it's all white people. Okay, it began peaceful. It was mostly peaceful, guys. And then it led to this. Then it led to listen, somebody said, listen to the shrieking. It's so woke.
Their anger on the federal building, breaking windows and doors.
Look at this. Look at all these white people. It was organized by the Black Student Union there in Oregon, but it's all white people who came out. How things have not changed. This is like in Georgetown, Texas, whenever the Black Lives Matter puts up like their table every Saturday, they're trying to take down the veteran statue, and it's all white people.
It began as a peaceful rally of about 200 people organized by the Black Student Union at the University of Oregon. And there was also unrest in Las Vegas. Rioters set more than 50 fires that burned through the night. Mobs roamed the streets, looting stores. One cop was shot and 4 police cars were hit by gunfire. A curfew has been set and the Nevada National Guard has been ordered into the city.
By getting attention and showing their frustration totally the wrong way. You know, what's wrong with doing a protest, marching up the street or something?
In Tampa, cars were burned and 2 teenagers were arrested after shots were fired at police.
No justice, no peace.
But the protests were peaceful in Trenton this morning as students from Trenton State College demonstrated against the verdict. And it was quiet in Philadelphia this afternoon, where 250 people marched to the police administration building. No disturbances were reported.
Stop police brutality!
All over the map, also.
Pull up the second one too, because I just want to. There's other cities.
Oh, keep going.
Or the other link, the second link below that one.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, because that one also details a number of other cities that riots were in. But yeah, I had no idea.
Are you talking about the NBC helicopter one?
No. So it's right underneath it. The report on riots in other U.S. cities. I think that was the one you pulled up. So the one directly underneath that, the second report about protest and riots.
Oh, okay. There's so many. Sorry, I'm getting.
I know.
I'm just really impressed with what you're able to find because
Oh my! I was like, wow.
I can't even find news reports from 3 years ago. Like everything that comes up is from today. Okay, here we go.
Around the country, people are angry, demonstrating at state capitals in Texas and in Idaho in the first few hours after the acquittal in California.
Sorry.
In some places, people did more than...
I'm sorry. Idaho, which is like the whitest.
In Texas and in Idaho.
Look at these black people.
You know what black people are?
We're here with the meeting of the Black Student Union in Boise, Idaho.
In the first few hours.
There we go.
After the
Sorry, I'm pausing it. I just want you to see this crowd. Look.
In California.
Look at them.
In some places, people did more than march. There was trouble on the streets of Atlanta Thursday afternoon. Crowds attacked people and property in the city's main commercial district. The trouble began not long after a peaceful prayer rally.
This was at 52's concert.
It was a rock lobster.
Rock lobster. Riot? I thought we were going to see the B-52s.
At the tomb of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr.
So not only are we here today to stop the killing in Los Angeles and stop the killing in the suites, we must stop the killing in our own community.
Somebody broke into a police garage in Wisconsin, damaged nearly 36 police cars, and left a note linking the action to the Los Angeles verdict. The bells at the Church of St. John the Divine in New York rang to demonstrate what church officials called solidarity with the people of Los Angeles, while a city councilman whose father represented Harlem in Congress condemned the verdict.
It makes you hate this country, the United States of America. It makes you hate that flag.
Mr. Sharpton.
He's eating well.
Eating well.
It makes you hate cops, and it makes you hate all white people who can even think of beginning to excuse.
It makes you hate all white people. Does it? Should it? Are you a tool? Is this what they want you to do?
This verdict.
Joining Powell and other community leaders, a woman who says her son was choked to death last year as New York City police tried to subdue him.
It's injustice for all of us, people of color. And I wonder, is it ever going to change? We're tired. We really are tired of this, and we can't take no more.
It's so interesting that this is 92, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the woke, even though it wasn't called woke then, it was called like social justice, and a lot of people were still disguising it as calling it, they thought it was liberalism, but they were already using the woke phrase, the social justice phrase, people of color. They were already using that phrase back then and trying to divide, right, along racial lines. Like there's white people and then there's people of color, right? There's white people and then there's people of color. That's not true, because as you pointed out at the beginning of this episode, a lot of this started with racial divisions between two groups who they're lumping in as people of color, between Koreans and black people. So give me a break with this whole like people of color thing, which it's just kind of incredible to hear that they were pushing it that long ago, which I knew they were. It's just funny to hear it in a news report, like 92, right? People of color.
There is anger, too, in Minneapolis.
As for that lie, there's only a minority of police whooping our heads. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. The minority is the few that don't whoop our heads.
And at the National Black Police Association convention in Atlanta,
beware, because you're going to see police officers drawing guns and fighting other officers now. Because we are not going to accept the verdict as it came down.
Demonstrate.
Wait, what?
I have no.
He's saying we're not going to accept this verdict, and so we are going, as police officers, are going to pull our guns and shoot. Did he lose his job?
I doubt it. It's probably giving him promotion.
Do you want me to pull up this firefighters clip?
Oh yeah. Oh, can you play just a little bit more? It wasn't quite
The other one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you just had up.
You got it.
Just a teeny bit more.
Here's blocked traffic on the top deck of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. Around the country, many people are looking at the not guilty verdicts in Los Angeles and asking why. And a few are using the same event to ask, why not? Mark Leff,
Okay,
CNN, reporting.
Wait, why not? The blocking traffic, that's something they do today too. A lot of the climate ones, the climate protesters love to do that. I can't stand that. It's we should have very stiff penalties for that. It's like you have to have a deterrent for people doing that, because they pretend like their whims, their activism, their whatever it is they're upset about, their emotions, they pretend like all that is more important than anybody else's right to go to work or feed their family, or if you, God forbid, you have an emergency, you have to go to the hospital and they're blocking traffic. I can't stand that stuff.
And I was also wondering too, are there any conspiracies about the LA riots? Because now we look at riots like in Minneapolis happened when George Floyd died, and a lot of us believe that there were possibly government actors helping set things off, or people acting on behalf of certain NGOs. Just curious if there's any beliefs or any evidence of that with the LA riots.
Theories about the LA riots? Well, give Candace Owens time. I'm sure she'll blame it on the like she's already blamed today's shooting on the Jews.
Oh.
Yeah, like they give her, I'm sure there's one somewhere about Jewish people. But no, I don't know. I'm kind of being funny, but I don't know if there is a conspiracy theory about it.
Because one of the reports I saw said that there was a gang, I think it's like a Hispanic gang, I forget which one, but said they were going around with Molotov cocktails, intentionally burning buildings all across the city. And so I'm like, kind of seems like this might be a little more organized than what people suspect.
Well, that's like what Randy said in the chat earlier, that the post offices were not on fire.
No, yeah.
Right? He says the liberals, there he is. He's still here. Hey, Randy. He says the liberals floating around the LA riots ended up going to work in the government. That's your connection.
I want to show you that map in a minute after we get through a couple more of these.
We do have some former lefties in the deprogrammed audience, people who were woke like myself, and I love hearing from you guys. Good grief, who's here tonight, says I absolutely was one of those people who blocked I blocked traffic. I also got a tattoo. I was an idiot. Hey, the good thing is, like, when you can leave a cult ideology and don't ever let anyone, sometimes people, they want to shame people for waking up, and it's like, don't you want them to wake up? I'm glad you woke up. I'm glad. Welcome to the party. Okay.
Can you pull up let's get to the rooftop Koreans. Can't forget about the famous rooftop Koreans.
Yeah, we've had people in the chat asking.
Yeah.
To the rooftop Koreans. Young people, Koreans. Do they even know what this references, rooftop Koreans?
I doubt it. I noticed, like, during the 2020 riots, people were like saying that people were calling for the rooftop Koreans to return. We're like racist or something. I'm like, no, this is what happens because police can't and oftentimes won't protect your property, particularly in situations like this. And so people have to take it into their own hands. And so a lot of these Korean men served in the Korean military, because I believe the men at least had to serve a certain amount of years in the Korean military. And so they had experience with firearms. And so as the fires were starting to go north towards Koreatown, a lot of Koreans decided to band together and, stop looters and people trying to set their businesses on fire.
Their business on fire, yeah. They took matters into their own hands.
The ultimate looters defense. We are on Olympic Boulevard in Koreatown at the Olympic Discount Store. There are 28 men, armed men, everyone with guns, on duty 24 hours a day, they tell me, protecting this store. They have done such a job here. They won't let me in. They won't let anyone in. You can see this is surrounded by a gate. And if Laurel can take the camera and pan across, there are men in cars. There are men with every single.
Let me tell you something. This culture, I'll come back to this in a second. I'm not done. But this lasted, as someone who lived in LA for 15 years. And again, I was there after all this happened. So I was there from like, what was that, like 2001 to 2016. There were still, like, our favorite sushi place. There was an old Asian guy in the parking lot with a gun. Like, there were still, in the Asian community, if you were in, like on Sawtell, or if you were down in Koreatown, or there were old Asian guys with guns who would protect the parking lot. And again, being younger and having moved there, you're like, wow, I didn't expect this in Los Angeles. Like, there's somebody who's armed here. So you're sort of used to that in Texas or in the South. But in Los Angeles, you will still see that. Although in my experience, it was just at like the Asian establishments, the Asian restaurants.
Person is armed here, and they walk back and forth across the roof, down around behind. There is no question for anybody going by this store that this store is protected. I asked one of the security men to find the owner for me. He told me the owner was not here. He would not tell me the owner's name. In fact, he would say only that the men here are friends and employees of the man who owns the store, and that they are going to stay here until the siege is over. And of course, my question to him was, have you had any trouble? And he just looked at me and smiled and said, no, we haven't had any trouble at all.
Patty, have you asked him whether they're...
Have you had any trouble? And he just looked at me and smiled and said, nope.
Their firearms are registered. Looks like they have a mix and match set of weaponry in the background.
You hear that woman said?
With
Firearms registered?
Oh,
like,
come on. That's what she's worried about?
Yes.
Do you have your registration? They're burning down people's stores, killing people, attacking people, destroying their livelihood and their business. And she's like, is that a registered firearm?
What a loon.
Have a mix and match set of weaponry in the background.
Well, for somebody with my little bit of weaponry expertise, I don't really know enough about that. And there's a real language I had a real language problem here, and I think it was on purpose, because every now and then I would get answers to my questions, and then every now and then they would say to me, no, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. So I don't know whether all of these guns are legal, but I have a feeling it doesn't matter to the people who are holding them.
They are legal. Those are rifles and shotguns, and do not require registration, but they do require you know how to use them.
Do they have handguns too? Can you tell whether they're carrying, some of them are armed with holsters and handguns as well? It looks like they might be.
Well, some of them have security jackets as if they belong to a security company. But when I asked if they were a company that had been hired, they told me no, that they were just friends and employees.
That looks to be a doozy.
I just love them. They're like, we're coming out to protect the community, and that's what we're doing. She's like, I don't know. Sometimes I would try asking them, like, do you have registration for that gun? And they would be like, we don't speak no English. Like, that's really why would they tell you, lady?
I know. I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying.
I love this. Rhaegar says, LOL, the man having to come in to correct them.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Jane, you ignorant slut. Young people, you don't know that reference, do you? That's an old Saturday Night Live reference with what was that skit? Was it Gilda Radner and
it was Jane Curtin and Chevy Chase.
And Chevy Chase. Okay.
Let's play a little bit of the NBC report on Black business owner. Pull it up and make sure to pause it every once in a while. Hopefully NBC is cool with it, but I queued it up at the right place. This is an NBC report. They followed a Black business owner, and he actually goes to his store while people are looting it and like confronts some of these people looting it. It's crazy.
Randy Wallen. Thank you, Randy, for the super chat for $4.99. He says, God bless the rooftop Koreans. Remember, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away.
Yeah.
You're your own first responder.
I just don't understand why people could be against people being able to own firearms for self-defense. I just don't get people like.
They don't think. It's like today. It's like whenever there's a shooting, they just the media manipulates their emotions the same way they manipulated the emotions back then in 92. And they get people in there. They give a scapegoat. Sometimes the scapegoat is a demographic group. Sometimes it's like guns, something they want to, a right that they want to eliminate, right? The scapegoat is the Second Amendment. Let's get rid of guns and then these things won't happen.
But they're not even consistent, though. It's like, if you are anti-gun, then shouldn't you want the military to give up its guns? I mean, after all, people who typically talk about that stuff will point out, and I agree with them to some degree, that the military has been used to do awful things in various foreign countries. So using the same logic, like, shouldn't you want the military to be disarmed?
They don't think it through. They don't think about like, oh, we're going to give up our guns and the government's going to get to keep theirs.
Yeah,
they never think it through. They don't. They're non-thinking people.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, getting angry.
I know.
I get really angry when that. I try to be more calm, but I used to be very calm talking to anti-gun people. I used to be very calm, and I've got to get back to that place. But I get really frustrated with them because I feel like they've never thought it through, and you're having to walk them through the steps of thinking that they should have already done before they started to spout off an opinion. Just a correction, Jane, you're ignorant slut. He says,
"Oh, was it Dan Erickson?" Right?
It was Dan Aykroyd, right? It was not Chevy Chase, right? Dan Aykroyd. Okay. Thank you for the correction, Jared.
Father came out earlier this morning. And you can imagine what he was thinking, looking at the first store that he raised his family and everybody on, being burned down. Look at here. It's just random. It's sad. It's very sad. As you see, people are just standing on the corners, waiting for the next bomb to drop. You kind of feel like you're in Lebanon. You see the people walking away. They looted boys.
Yeah, look at all those fires.
Yeah.
So this is a black businessman.
Yeah.
So it's swapping. See, they got everything they could carry. See my store. It says Golden Bird right there. That was our 16th store. Hey, excuse me. This is my store. You mind not taking anything out of it, please? Ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Oh, this makes me so angry. Oh, this makes me, and he just comes in and there's people still there looting. They've already broken all the windows and doors and they're still there taking things.
Hey, this is my store. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just ended up back here somehow.
I didn't know what I was doing. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like the black people, just like we ain't shit. No, not really. Well, Golden Bird is owned by blacks. How we know? You know. How know? Yeah, you didn't care. As you can see, here's look at this. This is our life. This is it. They're walking out with just empty pans of raw chicken.
Okay. I think I've become as racist as you.
About time.
It's about time. I'm pretty pissed off.
Keri's got black fatigue.
I'm reaching the level of this is really frustrating. Yeah, where he's like calling them out and she's like, I didn't know. And he's like, you knew. You just don't care.
Yeah.
as you can see. Be careful. You pan over there, you see what's happening in boys. It's Armageddon. I mean,
What? This lady. Look at this lady.
Cornflakes.
Look at her shopping cart. Yeah, like the news reporter was saying, they were telling their kids we're going shopping. They're stealing, teaching their kids to steal.
It's all junk food too. Is that 7-Up or something in there?
All junk food. Who knows? Cornflakes on top. She's like, I'm just out shopping.
I mean, look. Yeah, I mean, look, people are doubled over from carrying stuff out of their bag. Now, what I want to know is, what do you think?
This car is backing up.
I know.
To more effectively load all the stuff they just stole.
Boys Markets is going to do? You think they're going to stay here and rebuild? Why? Why? They have plenty stores in areas that make a lot of money, and they don't need this.
He's so right. He's like, why would I rebuild here? I'm going to leave this black neighborhood and go to a different neighborhood to rebuild because maybe this won't happen. Like, you're destroying your own neighborhood. Like, do you want to have stores near you in the future that are convenient? And then people, woke, especially white wokies, want to talk about food deserts and stuff, and how, like, oh, in these high crime areas, there's no places to buy anything. And well, who would want to open a store here?
Exactly. It just angers me about some inner city blacks, though. How much, like you were saying earlier, like they don't care about the broader community. You know, don't care about how their actions impact others. It's just all about the self. That's all they care about. It's very frustrating, especially when you compare that to like Asians or even Jews. Like they have a very strong in-group preference, and they support one another. And that's not something that really exists too much with us blacks. Even though we can talk about it, we say, "Oh yeah, we support blacks and Black Brotherhood." It's BS. We don't.
Black people, when you do the in-group preference studies, they self-report a high in-group preference, but you're saying that doesn't carry through to action.
No, it doesn't. You treat yourselves or each other horribly, stealing from one another, ripping each other off, overcharging one another. We don't care about each other.
I will say this is an equal opportunity looting. That woman we were pointing out with the shopping cart, she wasn't black. I don't know if she was Hispanic or white or what. And these people, who knows?
A lot of toilet paper, or is that towels? I don't know, towels or toilet paper.
Paper towels, yeah.
I don't have a choice.
Hispanic, I think.
This was my first store, so it's real. This is really disheartening to me. As soon as your camera stops rolling, I'm gonna go home and cry.
As soon as your camera stops rolling, I'm gonna go home and cry.
I think that might be it. But yeah, it's crazy. And there was another one. I didn't put the clip in there, but it's one where an Asian woman who had a dry cleaning business, she came in and found that it was looted. People were stealing all this stuff. She just breaks out crying. And these two black women show up with their tickets. And the black woman's trying to get the Asian woman to get her stuff. It was, I could not believe what I was seeing.
Just zero empathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The woman's crying. She lost everything. And the black woman's like, I just want to get my stuff. Get out of here. I'll leave you alone. Just want to get my stuff.
Yeah. They're like, I'm going to get my stuff. I'll leave you. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Let's see where we're going to next. Oh, this is the Hispanic one.
Latinos fled violence in home countries and then faced more of the same during LA riots.
Doing this, right?
He came here from Salvador. He thought he would find freedom here. And now he is surrounded by a patchwork of hate, his own people self-destructing.
There is no more Sears anymore.
We tell them, please don't break the window. And they say, I don't care.
Latino businesses thought they were protecting themselves with signs that said, let's not destroy ourselves.
We so afraid and we so sad because we saw our people. People from Central America, Mexico, everybody.
Latinos came to Los Angeles for hope and opportunity. Often they found discrimination. Today you could add anger.
I think it's 90% Mexicans. If I had it my way, I would shoot the looters.
In this part of town, they told us, it was a Latino gang called MS that started much of the trouble. And many of the victims were also Latinos. I mean, when a thing like this happens, a neighborhood gang would want to protect the neighborhood, right? So how do they react to it all? What do they think?
They just go stealing. They make drive-by shootings because, you know, the police is busy somewhere around. And they said, so let's do it.
They are like animals. They don't care for anybody.
How do you think they felt cleaning up the wreckage made by people they thought were their friends?
I'm so angry with that people. You know, I'm Spanish, but not like that.
The Rodney King beating was really bad, and it really upset me, but that's not a reason to do all this stuff.
There is a part of South Central Los Angeles, used to be a black neighborhood, which is many colored now, and whose apartment building was torched by young black men.
Pues ahorita no sé nada.
And this victim, Latino, said he doesn't know what to do now. A psychologist came to see displaced families at a shelter set up by the African Methodist Episcopalian Church.
It's like you don't like this verdict, okay? And you've bought into this media narrative that the verdict is necessarily a sign of racism. Okay, so you bought, let's say that's even true. Let's take your premise, what you've bought into, that's true. That the only reason they were acquitted was because of racism. Okay. So what do? You go and destroy all these businesses, apartment buildings. People are thrown out of their homes. They're displaced. They lose everything, their life's work. And what does that get you? It's just insane. It's disgusting. It's revolting.
Yeah, human beings. Let's see. So, we're going to go to next.
George W.
Yeah, we do George W.
Or George Herbert
H.
Walker.
Yeah. So, and this, keep in mind, this is also an election year too. So, because I didn't put the piece in there, but there's one piece where obviously Democrats were seizing upon that to attack him. He actually did tour some of the fires or after they burned out. And yeah.
Drew goes, cornflakes. It gets me. Cornflakes.
So that's what Biden, or he's talking about corn pop. Corn pop.
Okay. Oh, wait. Here we go.
And now let's talk about the beating of Rodney King, because beyond the urgent need to restore order is the second issue, the question of justice, whether Rodney King's federal civil rights were violated. What you saw and what I saw in the TV video was revolting. I felt anger. I felt pain. And I thought, how can I explain this to my grandchildren? Civil rights leaders and just plain citizens fearful of and sometimes victimized by police brutality were deeply hurt. And I know good and decent policemen who were equally appalled. I spoke this morning to many leaders of the civil rights community, and they saw the video as we all did. For 14 months, they waited patiently, hopefully. They waited for the system to work. And when the verdict came in, they felt betrayed. Viewed from outside the trial, it was hard to understand how the verdict could possibly square with the video. Those civil rights leaders with whom I met were stunned. And so was I, and so was Barbara, and so were my kids. But the verdict Wednesday was not the end of the process. The Department of Justice had started its own investigation immediately after the Rodney King incident.
Okay. This is after the riots have already been happening, right? Okay. And he's talking about the verdict was wrong, or maybe wasn't right, or maybe, and we're devastated. I'm 5 minutes in, and he's talking about being the devastation over the verdict and equivocating. And this is a Republican doing this. And I'm like, okay, but that's old news. Do you see what's happening in these cities? Right? Do you see what's happening in these cities, and business owners and homeowners and people are being attacked and their businesses destroyed and there's violence on the streets breaking out and mass unrest and all these, and you're still talking about this one verdict? Doesn't this seem like a little bit of ring kissing to?
Yeah, well, again, like I said, it was an election year, and I think Bush early on didn't want to give too strong of an opinion about it, but he was getting raked over the coals by Democrats, and so it kind of forced him to.
He's trying to
make a strong
appease them
statement.
here, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to appease them, and it didn't work anyway because look, Good Grief says we leftists hated him anyway. He still got canceled. LOL. So
Still lost.
yeah, he still lost.
And was monitoring the state investigation and trial. And so let me tell you what actions we are taking on the federal level to ensure that justice is served. Within 1 hour of the verdict, I directed the Justice Department to move into high gear on its own independent criminal investigation into the case. And next, on Thursday, 5 federal prosecutors were on their way to Los Angeles. Our Justice Department has consistently demonstrated its ability to investigate fully a matter like this. Since 1988, the Justice Department has successfully prosecuted over 100 law enforcement officials for excessive violence. I am confident that in this case, the Department of Justice will act as it should. Federal grand jury action is underway today in Los Angeles. Subpoenas are being issued. Evidence is being reviewed. The federal effort in this case will be expeditious and it will be fair. It will not be driven by mob violence, but by respect for due process and the rule of law.
But mob violence is happening, and you're talking about retrying these officers because the mob didn't like the verdict, right? Like, that's really what's going on here. I'm really disappointed. I heard he was an arch conservative, and it doesn't seem like it.
He's an aside.
Not yet, anyway. I'm going to keep playing this, but Randy Wallen, by the way, with a little fact from history, says, by the way, Bush sent in the National Guard and the Marines. Trump doing it today is not a new thing. Yeah, but they sure act like it is, right? They're always like, oh my, OMG, holy orange man bad. He's sending in the National Guard.
We owe it to all Americans who put their faith in the law to see that justice is served. But as we move forward on this or any other case, we must remember the fundamental tenet of our legal system. Every American, whether accused or accuser, is entitled to protection of his or her rights. In this highly controversial court case, a verdict was handed down by a California jury. To Americans of all races who were shocked by the verdict, let me say this: you must understand that our system of justice provides for the peaceful, orderly means of addressing this frustration. We must respect the process of law, whether or not we agree with the outcome.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll put these cornflakes back. I didn't know. Here, let me unset this building on fire. Who's he talking to? Does he think that the rioters are like, oh, good point? Like, this is just tone deaf.
Just trying to seem like a father.
I'm really disappointed.
Oh, do you want to play it?
Does he ever get into like the riots are bad at any point? Should I keep playing?
I don't remember.
Let me just skip ahead.
I'm one who respects our police. They keep the peace. They face danger every day. They help kids. They don't make a lot of money, but they care about their communities and their country. Thousands of police officers and firefighters are risking their lives right now on the streets of LA, and they deserve our support. And then there are the people who spend each night not in the streets, but in the churches of Los Angeles, praying that man's gentler instincts be revealed in the hearts of people driven by hate. And finally, There were the citizens who showed great personal responsibility, that we must rebuild the community of Los Angeles. For these 4 people and the others like them, who in the midst of this nightmare acted with simple human decency, to lend their hearts, their voice.
I don't hear any of. I really like the way Trump gives it to the evildoers. You know, the way he's like scolds people when they need to be scolded, quite frankly. And I don't hear any of that from him. He's not even saying basic truth. Like, this is unacceptable. This is to be happening in America, to be burning down cities and destroying people's private property and killing people and endangering people's lives, like beating people and innocent victims. Like, where is that?
Trying to appeal to too many people, trying not to piss off one side. And so
Yeah.
trying to do it right down the middle, and it's not very effective.
Not effective. Okay. Where do you want me to go now?
So right above that is the riot aftermath. This technically isn't the aftermath. The riots were still going on during his report, but it was as the riots are starting to wane. And as you talked about earlier, Bush sent the National Guard into LA, and that's when the riots started to dissipate. But pull up this link, and I put the timestamps on. I can't remember if this is where I actually want to show. Just play a little bit, and if not, we'll skip forward. Can't remember.
Today put the casualty count at 37 dead, more than 1,300 injured.
37 dead and more than 1,300 injured. And
it increased.
And we're still, and it was going to increase, and they're still talking about the one verdict with the cops. And are you kidding me? Now we have all these casualties and injured people, but we need to relitigate that one thing.
More than 3,000 people have been arrested, and early estimates of property damage topped $200 billion. The governor called it terrorism and mobilized 2,000 more National Guard troops.
We are taking no chance. We intend to have not just a show of strength, but actual strength.
There's worry now that disabled public services will put a new strain on tempers just barely under control. With mail delivery suspended in the riot area, crowds came to a post office to collect welfare and Social Security checks. Postal officials said it made the...
Maybe that's why the post offices didn't burn, Randy. They had to go to the post office to collect welfare and Social Security checks.
Yeah.
Best of a bad situation. A long wait in line, better than a weekend without cash. But banks were also jammed, as were food stores that hadn't been looted. There are neighborhoods without electric power and public transit. In short, the aftermath of violence has become a new challenge to discipline.
So we got to go out and, ask people to now start rebuilding.
Magic Johnson today was among those responding to a call for LA's famous to start a chorus for urban peace.
We here join our community leaders who are asking for peace on the streets, calm in our neighborhoods, and an all-out citywide effort to heal and rebuild Los Angeles and the United States.
Meantime, the curfew that last night helped to keep things quieter here is back in effect tonight. Dan?
Get our 11-minute mark. 11-minute mark, please.
11. Mr. Dan Rather.
3 days of disorder have left at least 37 people dead. More now than died in the Watts riots of 1965. Some of the first victims were white motorists caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. But as the authorities begin to take back the streets, more and more of the dead are black, many dying in encounters with police. At least 1,300 people have been injured, a situation threatening to overwhelm hospital emergency rooms. But the wounds of the violence here are not just physical. On one city block, the hopes and dreams that are so much a part of American life have been destroyed.
That was all my safety.
Wow, just the devastation there. It's, yeah.
All my life is gone. This is it. I have to start all over again.
Ramin Rukin
Can you go to
immigrated here from Iran 6 years ago.
5343?
Huh?
5343, please. This is a long clip.
5343?
Yes.
It's like we've seen this over and over and over. When you forget history, right? What did they say? History rhymes. And all the BLM riots that we've seen, the mostly peaceful protests, as the media lied to us and called it.
This is blueprint. And it is, I was thinking kind of, I guess, well, maybe not ironic, but how this started with mobs going to Florence and a street called Normandy, and how this to some leftists is like World War II. It's like this is the version of going into Normandy. Because I actually saw, like, when I was doing research on this, I was looking up clips, and obviously YouTube recommended clips from 2020 and the recent LA riots. But a lot of, I guess, activists, protesters, rioters, whatever, went to Normandy, Florence and Normandy, and were like protesting there, taking pictures. Like, that was ground zero of that. It's like Mecca to them, basically. I'm like, that's sick.
Because so much of this was happening there.
Yeah, that's where it started. Yeah.
When I looked on television and I saw the violence, immediately I made a decision to go down there to do what I could to help. This particular Spanish fellow came through on his way home. They jerked him out of his car. They began to beat him, and I was trying my best to help him out, to defend him.
Reverend Benny Newton defended a man he did not know against a mob of 20 vicious young men.
And then this one young man picked up a large speaker, and he took the speaker and lifted it above his head and came down on Mr. Lopez's head. And when he did that, I covered him with my body. I literally covered him with my body, and I told them, you're going to have to kill me too.
Reverend Benny Newton saved Fidel Lopez's life because he wanted to help out. A lot of brave people feel that way.
I mean, you see it on the news, everybody's wanting to help out.
Today, after 2 nights of rioting, a lot of people came out and went into the middle of this raging war. They came to save lives. They came to save buildings.
It's been real good. We put out a building over there, and we're putting this one out, and we saved this one.
Everybody's pulling together. I'm not even from this neighborhood.
They came to save entire neighborhoods.
You know, I think of people in the community, they come out and they see more and more people getting active and actually cleaning up and trying to do as much as you can. I think you'll get more involvement.
Actor Edward James Olmos.
I got on the air yesterday and told them that I was just going to go out with a broom in my hand. And basically what is happening right now is that the Community Youth Gang Services came up and joined me. And then all of a sudden, hundreds of people from all over the community are coming out with brooms in their hands.
After all the
See, I always loved Admiral Adama.
I loved Admiral Adama too. And then I met him at a Comic-Con. I was there with some clients. This is in my old life. And there, you know how they have the line, the velvet ropes, and you can get autographs so you pay a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyway,
Yeah.
there was nobody in his line. It was completely empty. And I was there with all these comedians that were on a TV show at the time, and we went up just to say hello and like, hey, we're big fans and we love Battlestar, whatever. And it was either him or the person with him like pointed at the sign for like, this is how much money it is.
Oh, that's why. So say we don't.
So say we don't. It was so awkward. And he was just sitting there like nobody was in his line. I'm like, what? Maybe because you're such a stickler about the fee, Mr. Olmos.
Let's pull up the map and then we'll get to Reginald Denny, which is the last part. We're almost done.
Okay.
But
You
pull
wanna
up
show me
this
this
map.
map?
Yeah, I think it's map of riot fires. And so I just wanted to show just how widespread these fires are. It's just crazy when you actually see it.
So I was just looking at the map of Florence and Normandy, and I'm pretty sure that's when I first moved to LA. There was this school that I had applied to teach at, and it was a school for delinquent youth, dangerous youth who had been kicked out of public schools. And it was like right there in Inglewood, and I think it was right around that area. And anyway, I went to my first day, and then my ex-husband was really insistent that I not work there. And I thought I'm basically like the caricature I was making fun of earlier. Of the woke one. It's fine. He's like, it's dangerous. I don't want you working down there. I'm like, it's fine. Why are you being so crazy? He was probably right. Okay.
That's not it. It's actually the link is a link to a Twitter post. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. So or X. I still call it Twitter. Whatever. So map of riot fires.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So, and this person who made the tweet had a funny comment regarding this map, and I think there might be some truth to it.
Okay. Gonzalo Lira, and he says, LOL, one map shows the location of violent incidents during the LA riots. The other shows the locations of Trader Joe's in Los Angeles. Do you notice anything?
This is Coach Red Pill. I forgot.
This is really funny. So the Trader Joe's are not anywhere near the violent areas. Is that?
Yeah,
is
look
that
at that. Yeah. But look how widespread those fires are. There
Yeah.
thousands. I think it was like 3,000 or so fires. Crazy.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah,
though.
smart. Very smart.
Smart.
So let's get to the Reginald Denny trial of his attackers. And so this
Well,
first
let me
one
just stop here and ask your educated opinion. We are three hours in. Do you think we should put this into another video or cover it in this one? How much longer do you think?
No, we can do this quick. It's not going to be too long.
Let's do it. Okay.
Power through.
Which one?
So the black support for attackers ahead of trial. And so, yeah, there were supporters, people who thought that the people who brutally attacked Reginald Denny did nothing wrong.
So just to refresh your memory, guys, especially for the young people, out of all the rioting footage we saw, the one that most people remember and recognize was Reginald Denny, and that was that truck driver, the white truck driver that was pulled out of the truck, and we saw them beating him, throwing bricks at his head, dancing while they beat him to unconsciousness. Okay. And you're saying that there were black people who supported them, even they were being tried for violently assaulting this innocent guy whose only crime was being white, not a crime, that they thought they did nothing wrong. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll write something for you if you cook something for me, because I'm hungry.
That's the mom of one of the attackers.
That's the mom of one of the attackers. Okay.
I think it's Damian Williams, the guy who threw the brick.
Ugh.
No reason. No reason. This is every day the cops is over here. This is every day.
So this is no longer.
This is
no
nothing
longer
new.
a free street.
There has never been free. No. This has been going on for years. They come over here and they beat up people, and they take them down, go and arrest them. So this goes on over here every day. Oh, you want to see my notes?
Since Damian's arrest, Mrs. Williams, who works nights as a nurse, has drawn attention from the media as she has publicly spoken out in defense of her son and the other young men accused in the Denny beating.
I can take a hammer, honey, and bust the door.
The justice system is on trial because it's failed. It's failed black people. If you have an instrument that doesn't work, why use it? That's the question that's being that's being asked.
Excuses. Yeah, the justice system's on trial. No, I'm sorry. This guy's on trial for throwing a brick at another guy's head. Let's be very clear here. And she's like, this is fine, but she wants to talk about other supposed abuses. You're not getting naming anything specific. You're just saying this happens. Okay, well, let's assume you're right. And there's all this abuse that's happening. And so therefore that justifies your son committing this trial, this crime that he's on trial for, that somehow that's excused. No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you believe that beating people up is wrong, then you believe it's wrong even when it's your son doing it. Caught doing it.
We prayed that this case would be
No, Max Waters. She's like a horror movie. Oh my gosh.
Being asked.
We prayed that this case would be handled in a way that would cause this community to have respect for the criminal justice system.
Family and supporters of the Denny defendants have organized as the LA4 Plus Defense Committee. And this winter, it drew outside support from political leaders like Maxine Waters.
She's supporting the guys, they're calling them the four or whatever, who attacked this guy, this innocent guy.
Is it that shocking though? Maxine Waters, all people.
And we waited while the young men who supposedly were identified on videotape were apprehended. We have watched as they have not been allowed to get bail.
The police officers that were involved in the Rodney King case were people who were entrusted with enforcing the law, which is a position of trust, a position that was violated, notwithstanding that some of them were allowed to walk the streets on $5,000 bail.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Last December 14th, the LA4 Plus Defense Committee went back to the corner of Florence and Normandy to hold a rally, an event that became a new flashpoint, marking the city's divisions.
Of our demands that the excessive bail be reduced to reasonable amount and that these brothers be released forthwith because a fair trial is virtually impossible.
For the African American community, for the leadership to say that those four black suspects who viciously beat Reginald Denny, fired a shotgun at him, threw a brick at his head, that they should be released is lunacy.
It's absolute lunacy. And let me tell you something. This is, they want to compare these situations. The cops who attacked Rodney King, and I agree with you, I think it was excessive. I don't know if they should have been found guilty or not. I don't know if I agree with that actually at all. One difference is that this is their job, is to pull over people who are breaking the law. He had a warrant out for his arrest. He was driving like 100 miles an hour. He was driving drunk. He fled from the police in his car. There were all these extenuating circumstances. It's not like these cops went out as private citizens, pulled an innocent person out of his vehicle just because of the color of his skin and started beating him with bricks to the head.
But that's what people believed. So many people legitimately believed that they racially profiled him, pulled him out, and just started beating him because he's black. And I'm like, seriously?
And so they see no difference between, in the course of their job, could you have an argument about whether they were too excessive or not? Sure, have that argument, but it's in the course of their job to pull this guy over. It's not like they went and targeted some innocent person like the LA4 did when they, as private citizens, stopped Reginald Denny, random guy, just because of the color of his skin, pulls him out of his vehicle and starts beating his head with bricks.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that.
There's no excuse. So if you want to compare them, which is worse, I don't have a lot of there's not a lot of nuance to be found in the Reginald Denny case. Like, oh, maybe they were. No, there's no new. It's cut and dry. Like, you pull this guy out and you beat him up. Unbelievable. This is frustrating. What do you have for me after this? Because this is making me mad.
There are some funny stuff. I do have funny things, but
just the fact that they're like, yeah.
So I can't remember if there's any more to this. We can go to the
free
next.
all black political prisoner. A political prisoner, really. These four guys who beat this guy up and threw bricks at his head, they're political prisoners now. Are you kidding me?
What's outraged me more than anything in this whole LA experience is that the victims are being declared as criminals.
Yeah.
Okay, you can stop that and pull up the clip under that. So that clip under that is a news clip of the actual trial of his attackers.
That sign said, "Don't leave your brothers hanging." Again, playing to racial divisions and like, hey, if you're black, you have to support these black criminals.
What about all the black looters that looted black stores? I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about, Keri. What I was saying, like this idea that black supporting blacks is nonsense.
It's nonsense. Yeah, how about support the black victims of the riots?
And of course, you'll notice in that clip we played, his father was nowhere to be seen. Just his overweight mama.
Just his overweight mama.
Because he was a member of a group that was affiliated with the Crips.
Of course. Of course.
Identify the defendants. Tur identifies Watson as the man who moves in to hold Reginald Denny on the ground while others attack him. And Damian Williams is the man who he says throws the brick at Denny. He says he saw it clearly. Tur was questioned by prosecutor Janet Moore.
Are you absolutely certain that this man in court, defendant Williams, is the person that threw the brick into Reginald Denny's head?
There's no doubt.
Are you absolutely certain that the person that you saw take his leg and place it on the neck of Reginald Denny, apparently holding him to the ground while others went through his pocket?
Is that him?
I don't think I think it's one of the other suspects.
Look at those eyes, though. Not blinking, hooded, like dropping the head down. It's like that predator stare. That's why I was like, is that one of the defendants? Because he's doing that predator stare. Like, I will eat you.
That looks scary.
You know what I'm talking about. Where you drop your head,
Yes.
show half of the eye. Yeah.
Are you absolutely sure that that is defendant Watson at the end of the counsel table?
It was.
He went through the videotape showing where he says Williams looks up at the helicopter while he gestures at Denny. And then another scene with the man he says is Williams.
He's squatting and doing something with his hands.
During a break, Williams' mother shouted at Tur as he walked down the hall. Nothing happened.
The defendant's mom is shouting at him, liar, liar,
Horrible.
liar. Horrible. No
My
wonder
baby
your
can't
son.
do nothing wrong.
My baby can't do nothing wrong. No wonder your son behaves the way he does.
Yes.
With an example like you.
Learn from his mother.
To her, but one of the members of the so-called Free the LA Four was detained after he made comments to Tur. Paul Parker's been warned he's violating a court order against witness intimidation. Williams' attorney, Edie Fall, tried to question Tur's credibility.
Within the journalism community in the Los Angeles area, do you have a reputation for being a person who doesn't tell the truth?
No.
Tur admitted that at only 70 feet, he was a hazard to people on the ground. Tur said he wanted to be certain he showed the right man. So Paul asked Tur if he's a biased witness. That may have backfired.
What I saw is what I saw. Therefore, to be honest, I do have a bias.
Tur will be back on.
He's like, therefore, I have a truth bias. Like, I'm telling you what I saw. Oh, okay.
And so I guess I didn't find a clip of the actual verdict, but let's see, I wrote it here.
Well,
So-
go ahead.
Oh, Damian Williams, the guy who threw the brick. He I think it was sentenced to 10 years. They reduced it from his original charges to I think like 4 misdemeanors, and I think it was he was convicted of simple mayhem, and so he was sentenced to 10 years, but only served 4 years. And he would actually end up years later going on to kill somebody. Surprise.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah.
This is the problem with they want to talk about criminal justice reform. I think we need criminal justice reform as well. And one of the things we need is stiffer sentences. And we don't need to be as lenient as we have been for across the board. I mean, I've become, this is something I've become a lot more conservative on. Like some things I'm like, I haven't become more conservative. It's just that the left went crazy and left me, right? But other things I have become more conservative on. And one of those is like, you should not be, this guy is the whole definition of being a threat to society, right? Like that's part of why we punish. That's part of why we separate people and say, you are not allowed to live in civil society anymore because of this thing you did. And which proves that you're a threat to the rest of society. And you're pulling someone out of their vehicle and stomping their head and throwing bricks at their head. Like you're 4 years for that. Really? That's it.
Yeah. Like I just can't imagine that the, I don't want to say pressure, but the threat of more riots had an effect on jurors, as we'll see with the OJ as well. But because Henry Watson, he got 3 years probation. And Tony Miller, he was I think he was granted time served, so he was sentenced to like 17 months of, I think, jail, maybe 27 months of probation, and then Gary Williams was sentenced to 3 years in jail. But I don't know how Gary Williams escaped the attempted murder charge. Like, how you threw a brick at someone's head?
Well, with murder, you have to prove intent, and so they were probably like, you know,
You expect to happen. You throw a brick at someone's head. It's just crazy. But I thought it was in that. It was going to be in
manslaughter, though. I mean, attempted manslaughter at the very least.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
Erica is here. Hello, Erica. Thank you for the
Hello.
$20 super chat. That's very kind. She says, "What a treat to see you guys streaming this late." Well, it's good to see you. And she says, "Identity is so easy to hijack when it's outside of Christ." I agree.
And I thought it was going to be in that clip, but there's a point where Reginald Denny, who was in the courtroom, he actually testified. He goes over to Damian Williams' mom and hugs her. So
wow.
And so that's going to lead to my next clip of Damian Williams and Reginald Denny being on the Donahue show. And so pull this up. I had a good time watching all these old Donahue, Geraldo episodes. Like, it was such a different time because, like, I was watching a lot of Geraldo episodes where they had like skinheads on, and I was thinking, like, this was like in the 90s when they were trying to stamp out what remained of racist white people, because there's always white supremacists on there. I'd never remember any black supremacists, Asian supremacists, Jewish supremacists. I don't remember any of them, just white supremacists. That had to be eliminated.
But it was always, like skinheads or something. And young people, you don't know Donahue. You need to go and ask Mystery Chris where to find these old clips that he's able to track down. Okay, so
I believe Donahue died last year too. I think it was last year, sadly. But Sally Jesse Raphael's still alive. She's like 95 or something crazy.
Reginald Denny, his attackers, and 2 jurors.
You shook hands, Mr. Watson. Are you sorry what you did, Keith?
Yes, I'm sorry for...
That was him in the courtroom.
Yes, this is Ashley Watson.
Are you sorry for your participation in the event?
I have mixed feelings about it.
What?
Are you kidding me? This guy's here to give you grace you don't deserve. That's why it's called grace. Look at this poor guy that they beat up sitting there listening to, and at the very end, he's like, "Do you have sorrow about it?" I'm gonna go back because they showed the footage.
No, there's no shutting down Florence. Let's shut Florence Boulevard down. That's the answer. We're going to tell the LAPD to do that now. Tell LAPD to shut Florence Boulevard down and Normandy because people are still driving through here. That's right.
You shook hands, Mr. Watson. Are you sorry what you did, Keith?
Yes, I'm sorry for the injuries that Mr. Denny suffered.
Are you sorry for your participation in the event?
I have mixed feelings about it.
Wow.
Audience
would want you to explain what you mean.
Wow.
What happened to Mr. Denny there at the intersection was terribly unfortunate.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is the thing. Let me just say, passive language. I mentioned it earlier in the episode. Sociopaths do this. People who want to avoid, even normal people do this when they want to avoid responsibility for their actions. A lot of times, if you watch police interrogation videos, guilty people do this and they'll say, when the death happened. It's like, no, when you should say, when I killed that person. Like, just say what you did. Take responsibility. But passive language takes the verb. It takes you out of it. And so this guy is using passive language. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry for the injuries he suffered. Now, he doesn't say the injuries I caused. He says the injuries he suffered. Who did that to him? Why did he suffer those injuries? It was you, dude. It was you.
It's like saying, I'm sorry that they kept running into my knife.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. Then he's like, what happened to him was very unfortunate. What happened to him is very unfortunate. Where are you in this? Where's your responsibility? Passive language. Passive.
He was an innocent victim, an innocent person.
Here's the slow-mo of your participation in this.
Go to 904, please.
Wait a minute, real quick. Donahue's about to show him. Here's the slow-mo of your participation. Can I just see this real quick?
Sure.
Understands what the jury considered. You are about to place your foot on Mr. Denny's neck. That'll come up here in a moment as we've decelerated this moment considerably. That's you with your back to us at the top of the screen. You're only the bottom half of your body is visible now. There you are, holding your hand up against a gentleman who's about to throw an aerator. There your foot is on Mr. Denny's neck. You appear to be almost as though you're going to stop him, but that is an aggressive act there. The jury considered this, did not consider it attempted murder, acquitted you of that. This other man is about to hit Mr. Denny with the aerator, which upon striking your body, Reggie, breaks in two. The aerator breaks in two. You had your hand on.
Okay. Where do you want me to skip ahead to?
904. This is original speaks.
I can't believe him.
Just that for a man to wanna, this was at Mr. Watson's request that I come here because he was the one who wanted to start this whole thing as far as someone saying an apology, which I find extraordinary because I don't think I would have that much courage to want to go up to somebody whom I've been accused of doing a lot of bad things to and then saying to him, I'm sorry, because most of us can't even say sorry to our kids, let alone to an individual whom they don't even know. And what at one time was what I consider to be like a civil war. It wasn't me against Mr. Watson. It was just a lot of bad things happening in a community. And I was just there when something went wrong. It was not, it's not a personal vendetta thing. It can't be. It is not. This problem is something that happened.
Does it kind of remind you of the father of the white boy who was stabbed by the black kid from Anthony?
Recently, right?
Yep.
This is sick. I mean, I thought it was going to be grace, but it doesn't sound like grace to me. I thought it was going to be, even though you did this evil against me and tried to kill me, I forgive you because I forgive you as Jesus forgives me. I thought it was going to be a grace moment, but it seems like more of a white guilt moment, doesn't it? Like a white kind of like, as a white person, I can't, I was just in the wrong place. I'm sorry I got in front of your foot, Mr. Watson. Like, that's kind of what it seems like, right? Ew. He can't even say you did this evil thing to me. He's sitting there saying it was a civil war type environment and it's not your fault. Like, why are you letting him off the hook? Don't say it's not your fault. Forgiveness means nothing if there's not a debt owed. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is acknowledgement of like, you owe me a debt because you did this thing to me, or you stole this thing from me, or you hurt me in this way. And I am wiping the debt clean. It's like when Jesus forgave us, he wiped the debt clean. There's a debt there. Don't pretend like there's no debt. That's not forgiveness. Oh, there's no debt. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like that. What about you?
Yeah, I don't like it either. I mean, again, I understand the forgiveness, but like you said, that doesn't mean forget about something. Doesn't mean someone shouldn't be held accountable for their actions.
Right.
I think it's just kind of a misinterpretation of, Christian doctrine. Which later on he does talk about his faith, but
he does. Well, that's
later on.
I mean, who knows? I feel so sorry for this guy that he would even just to sit there to this guy who tried to kill you.
But it just seems misplaced.
It seems misplaced, and he's sitting there trying to build that guy up on the right, and the guy on the right's nodding his head like, "Yeah, it does take a lot for me to come here and say I'm sorry," like, wow.
Happened before Mr. Watson or I were even born. And we just happen to be caught up into the mess that was created by somebody a long time ago. And it still isn't fixed.
Mhm.
So don't we have to do something to knock this crud out? I mean, it's ridiculous.
So
Maybe he's afraid of getting beaten again.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, Good Grief, says it's giving, don't hit me anymore.
Battered wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to 1253.
You,
Really got to be strange. How many people have ever gotten mad at somebody? You just wanted to grab them and shake them.
Yeah.
That community wanted to shake somebody awake, and I was the person they shook. So what? Yeah, it's like.
So what?
Well, it could be brain damage, to be fair. I mean,
It could be brain damage. Yeah, like they did stomp on his head and throw cement bricks at his head, but
like I said earlier, I would not be upset if he turned racist. I wouldn't. I'd be like, hey, makes sense. Drop some N-bombs. That's what's so frustrating. I want him. Hard ER. Drop him.
Oh, look at this guy. Look, guys, I just happened to get in the way and they just wanted to shake. Have you ever gotten mad at somebody and you just wanted to kill a random innocent person that had nothing to do with it? I just happened to be that random innocent person. You know, guys.
And when you see this very naked, bald, brutal aggression against your person, do I understand you to be saying to this audience that you, at that moment, in the historical time of the city of Los Angeles, at that moment, you understand the anger of your attackers?
You know, it's not until something like that happens that perhaps any of us understand the anger of anybody. We're all go day to day, drive through the same old community.
This guy, he's like, this is like when you've effectively run a Stockholm syndrome and you're like, is this guy really buying what I've sold him? I guess he is. Do you know, that's what his look to me is like, is this guy really?
And, you know, my windows are up, my doors are locked. They don't exist for me. That day, existence came through my window. I am totally aware of what's going on now.
All right. Go to 2124. This is a racist caller that called in. I thought was kind of
2124.
Back when they took calls, talk shows. Great.
Oh, we have Mrs. Swan here in the audience. And then
you look like a man.
No, I haven't. Are you there, caller?
Yes,
I am. I would like to say I'm glad that he got beat down.
Why are you glad?
I'm glad because it happened to Rodney King, you know, and it's not an issue between Keith and Mr. Denny.
he looks like a little chihuahua looking around. And while this racist black woman on the line is like, I'm glad this innocent white guy got beat down. Why? Oh, because somebody else got beat down, so he needs to get. But what? And he's looking around like
Like you said, it's a black and white issue. You know, what happened to Rodney King, that wasn't fair. It happened to this man, and it wasn't fair. But hey, you know, it happened.
But do two wrongs make a right?
In this case, I think it did.
Whoa.
Wow. You know what? She should go to the electric chair. I think let's get this caller. Let's find out where she lives, and she should go to the electric chair. Like, why doesn't she? Two wrongs make a right. Sometimes I think it does. An innocent person has to pay. Let's put that woman on death row. Somebody needs to pay.
Evil woman.
Evil, right? How do you like it if somebody uses that on you, lady? What?
Two more timestamps. 2405. This is where two of the jurors speak about the verdict. Play a little bit about this, and then we'll close out with Reginald.
Do I understand that the real central feature of the dilemma of these jurors was intent? Did the defendants intend to murder Reginald Denny? Do I understand the fundamental question that this jury struggled with?
That's correct.
Talk about that. Tell us about what transpired. Ms. Walters.
Well, it was difficult because we had to interpret the law, the way it was written pertaining to that particular crime of attempted murder.
Right.
And as far as understanding and interpreting the law, we had to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt regarding two elements of that specific crime. And one of those elements included specific intent. And we had a debate as to whether Williams and Watson specifically intended, premeditated, willfully, and deliberately intended to kill Denny.
Because that is obliged by the charge, intent to murder. If they are convicted of intent to murder, the potential sentence is life.
Correct.
This audience should also know that the jury had no lesser charge to fall back on under the terms of the instructions of the bench. Is that so?
As far as Williams was concerned, but not Watson.
You were going to say, Emily.
No, that I was agreeing with that
Yes.
also.
So obviously, all of the jurors, however horrible this tape, could not, beyond a reasonable doubt, given the evidence presented to this trial.
Okay, so from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, they were when it was sent to the jury, they were asked to convict of murder, but they weren't given the option of doing a lesser conviction of. They were asked to convict of attempted murder, but they weren't given the option of convicting of a lesser charge of attempted manslaughter. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the prosecutor's fault, because I watch a lot of true crime. Murder involves intent and planning, and you could very easily say you haven't proven beyond a reasonable doubt they intended to kill this man. Manslaughter, attempted manslaughter, yeah, sure. But if they weren't offered that option and they were offered was like murder or whatever they ended up saying he's guilty of, mayhem or whatever, that's the prosecutor's fault. Who, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know why they would do that.
Why would they do that?
Do they want this? I can't imagine prosecutor. Well, maybe prosecutor would. I don't know.
Conclude that Mr. Watson or Mr. Williams were trying to kill Denny.
That's correct.
Once you decided that, then all you're left with is a handful of misdemeanors, some of which you found for acquittal, some of which you found guilty.
Right.
Except mayhem. There was the
Mayhem
also.
Mayhem against Williams, felony mayhem.
Yes.
Right.
The most serious charge, a charge that could get him 10 years.
Right.
He's to be sentenced on December 7th. The biggest.
Johnny Cochran was Reginald Denny's lawyer. We represented him. They wanted him to represent the four guys, but he said no.
He represented Denny.
Yes, he was his lawyer.
That's pretty incredible, seeing as how he went on to represent OJ.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all conspiracy, Keri.
Okay.
You can go to 3354 now. And this is where he talks about his faith.
I'm sorry. This guy up there just looking so angry, that the guy that he forgave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he makes me think of Debo from Friday.
I can see it.
All dead. It's like, this is my bicycle.
Flattering way, appearing on the videotape with his foot on your neck. You have, how do we say this? You've rediscovered the Lord, have you not? I mean, you were always a Christian fellow, right?
Yes.
Now it's a little different Christianity.
Yes,
Tell me.
It's coming so close, and this is going to be something that you probably hear a lot of people talk about, but coming so close to the edge and then coming back for whatever reason. And I know surgeons are an extraordinary group of people, but there was also a blessing from God. And if I were to not explore that, I would be a fool. Mm-hmm. And so I am.
And you have.
Yes, sir.
And you feel closer to the Lord now.
Oh, yes, by all means.
And the Lord, in a sense, then calls upon you to forgive
Most
Mr.
definitely.
Watson.
It's not, we don't question what God or Jesus has set up for us. We just do it.
Right.
Our questions will be answered when we meet the Lord in person.
Right. And you are enjoying your leisure now. Your daughter is with you. You kind of just hanging out here for a little while, taking it easy, getting the whole heel going here.
Oh, you bet.
HEAL, right?
Yes.
And so what happens in the future? You're not sure right now.
And I don't concern myself of it. It's just whatever happens will happen.
I just hope I'm not in the wrong place again, where I have to be that innocent person who just innocently has somebody's wrath taken out of me. Totally understandable.
If
Totally
it happens,
understandable.
it's okay. You know.
If it happens, it's okay. It's got to happen to somebody, some innocent person, some innocent white person. It's got to happen to them.
Right.
What?
That's enough. You can stop it there. And one last link before we get to funny stuff. This is a very short one. This is the only, I couldn't find very many videos about the federal case. So the DOJ brought charges against the 4 police officers who beat Rodney King and charged them with violating Rodney King's civil rights, I think it was. And so this is a report on the verdict. It's very short.
Thank you. We're going to recap now the verdicts in the Rodney King trial in case you are just joining us. The jury came back a little while ago, actually about an hour ago, with their decision in the case. 2 of the 4 officers involved have been convicted, 2 others acquitted. Sergeant Stacy Kuhn was found guilty. He was the officer in charge at the scene the night that King was beaten. He is also the only officer to take the stand in the trial. He's written a book about the incident. Officer Lawrence Powell found guilty. He is the officer who delivered the most blows to King during the beating. He was also the only defendant not acquitted at the state trial. Officer Timothy Wynn was found not guilty. He was a rookie on probation at the time of the King incident. He has since been fired from the department. And finally, Officer Theodore Briseno. He was found not guilty. He was the one officer seen on the tape trying to stop the beating at one point. So once again, we have 2 guilty verdicts and 2 not guilty verdicts in the case of the 4 LA cops in the beating of Rodney King.
So this is what George Herbert Walker Bush was talking about. Like, if everybody will just hold on, we know you don't like the verdict. We're going to have a federal trial and see if we can get a verdict you like, right? And now there's a verdict you like. So I guess we can let's unwind all the rioting.
Yeah.
Too late.
Well, I think I know, like saying his name, Sergeant Kuhn. He got 10 years in prison, and I forget if Powell, I want to say Powell got something similar. But I was reading, like, after Kuhn got out of prison, he was like a chauffeur. I was like, it's probably like the only job he could get, because you're like, wait a minute, aren't you that sergeant when people were beating Rodney King? Like,
wow.
Crazy.
Well, thank you very much, Mystery Chris, for putting together this whole episode, for doing all the research, pulling the archival footage. I appreciate it. I know people watching appreciate it. You guys we're happy to have you back for pop culture episodes. And that's just a brief overview of all the media that was happening around the time of the Rodney King verdict and the Denny verdict and the riots. And I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. We got couple of funny ones, short ones.
Okay, which ones?
First, bring up our segment. Is it a tattoo? Well, let's find out. So there should be, if you scroll down, I had a maybe section because I had a hard time.
Oh, I see.
Down. But there's a funny section there. So Rodney King tattoo.
No.
Let's find out how that went.
So if you're new here, we do every once in a while we do a funny segment to end the show called "Is there a tattoo of that?" Is there a tattoo of that? And it's the whatever the topic was for tonight. So you're asking the question: Is there a tattoo of Rodney King?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
drum roll says
yes.
But and of course it has all, Trayvon Martin and Emmett Till and a bunch of people on there. But first of all, it's weird to get tattoos of somebody you're not related to. Like, it would be weird if someone got a tattoo of you, Keri. But I would think, like most people would hope that if someone were to get a tattoo of you, it would be one where you're smiling, looking cute. Instead, this person gets a tattoo of probably the worst moment in Rodney King's life where he's getting his ass beat by police. Like, that's just, it's weird.
There's and it's like a newspaper tattoo of a newspaper headline, the Rodney King affair, and it's where it's the car, and you can see the police officers and him being beaten. And then there's "Don't Shoot," and then there's a Trayvon Martin down there, Emmett Till. There's another newspaper, "Do Not Cross Police." It's a whole Black Lives Matter back tattoo. There's a big black power fist, the Marxist fist in the middle. Black Lives Matter tattoo. It's a whole back. Who's on the left? They have a pack of Skittles. No,
no, really? Where?
Yeah, they have a sign that says "I can't breathe." They have "Say Their Name." Black Lives Matter sign over here on the right. Look, I'll pause it. There's
I think it's Martin Luther King at the upper top left.
Okay, look there, right before it went to black.
Oh, because he's supposed to be carrying Skittles or something.
Yeah, he was supposedly carrying Skittles. There it is. See it? And an Arizona iced tea and Skittles. Okay. Where's the Jussie Smollett? This is back creepy. And two.
Did I get erased?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Second, that link underneath it, there's a couple spots. I think I queued it up at the first spot, and there's a second spot. This is actually a news report, but there was kind of funny moments, at least I thought. I have a twisted sense of humor, but I thought it was funny. So it should be queued up at the first spot.
Is this the one called Rodney King Dance?
Yes. All right, did that queue up the right place? I think I did. Skip ahead. I thought I queued it up at the. Maybe I.
Is it further along?
Dang it! Where did I do it?
It's just footage of people running out of Sears with stuff. Like these are just look at this Sears store. People just running out with handbags and like ladies wear, and she's got a big old box like a TV or something.
Oh, no, let's see.
Microwaves.
Let me see if it's right. I thought it's the right.
Look at all these clothing, all the looting.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try this link. Hold on, I'll paste it underneath
right ahead.
that one.
I'm just looking at them looting the Sears.
So try the one I just pasted underneath that link. I think I have it queued up at the right spot. Poor Sears. That's why it went out of business.
I don't see where you pasted it. Can you just put it in the private chat?
Hold on. I'm on two computers. Oh, I just highlighted in the show notes. Can you see where my cursor is? Or this one?
Nope. Maybe I'm not in the right place. I don't see a cursor. Sorry.
Let's see.
I see. Why don't I pull up while you try to get it?
No, it's right underneath, like where you got the Rodney King tattoo.
There's In Living Color.
Yeah, before we get to that one, it's right above that. How is it not showing
I
up?
do not see it. So let me just pull this up so we're not dead airing, and you can figure out a way to get it to me while we're playing the In Living Color sketch. How about that?
Okay, let's see.
Although, funny enough, that's not working either.
Okay. So let's see. If you go to, I guess pull up the original clip you had if you can't. It's not showing up. And then go to the.
That original clip is gone.
How? What is going on?
I don't know. We're not in those same. I'm on this. Look, I'm just telling you what I see. So.
Okay, hold on. I'll have to look it up here.
How about the Mad TV bloopers? Let me let this play.
Not yet. We're going to play that one next episode.
Okay.
That one ties into their next one. Okay, so it's actually one of the ones I initially put here. Let's see, I think it's this one. I think it's this one. So, it's making me. All right, let me put it in the private chat, see if this works. Get out of the way. Yeah, your turn to sing. Okay, here's the link.
Okay.
So pull that up, go to 2743.
Sorry, guys. Thanks for your patience. We're doing jumping through some big hurdles for some laughs. Here we go.
You get along well?
Yeah.
Go to what?
2743.
Young women block traffic in protest. Their dance is called the Rodney King.
No.
Yes.
No, and they're beating each other. It's like twerking, but they're beating, and it's called the Rodney King. No.
Young women block traffic in protest. Their dance is called the Rodney King.
And one girl's with her hands behind her back.
Imagine why I didn't catch on. Annoying. Okay, go to 2833.
That's absolute lunacy.
Yes.
So dumb.
As looters take what they want.
Are they looting that building? I just walked up.
Hold on, let me make sure it's the right spot.
Here's that way.
Actually, it's not the right spot. All right. Okay, so it's gonna be go to 35. I think it's 3540. So yeah, there we go. That's good. So,
look at this here. So we loving everything here, right? No, we can't imagine this one.
We're gonna claim the insurance, but I don't know how much they pay, and anyway, we lost a lot.
So you think you're gonna come back here and open a store, or you're gonna go?
No, we don't want anymore. We're gonna leave.
Where are you going to go?
Not this area. No black people area.
Base. Okay, that's it. I just
Wait, what was she saying? Where she wants to live?
Where they're going to relocate their business.
And what did she say?
He said no black people area.
No, we don't want anymore. We're gonna leave.
Where are you going to go?
Not this area. No black people area.
And think of it says Mystery Chris is joining the race war on the side of the Asians.
Yeah. I love techno, Chinese food. I'm cool with Asians.
You do love you like Japan. You like to go and look at Google Maps.
I got a samurai sword.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay.
And then lastly, that's where we're in tonight with the Living Color one.
I hate to tell you this, but that link doesn't work. So just give me a second. I know we've had all this trouble.
That is very
I'm
bizarre.
just gonna look it up.
So it's just Living Color.
Rodney King
and Reginald Denny. So it should come up pretty easy.
It's the beginning of this. Okay, got you.
Oh, this was funny skit.
Living Colors. I mean, young people. You come on. You got to go watch old and Living Color.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to bring to the podium former presidential candidate, Mr. Ross Perot.
No, this isn't the right spot. There should be a sec. Either try to fast forward or find one where it actually has it cut out. Let's see.
Thought I was going to hang glide, didn't you? Huh? Thank you very much. I felt it was important.
Keep going. It's not that.
It's not this part.
Nope. There we go. So.
All merchandise must go.
Hi, I'm Rodney King.
And I'm Reginald Denny. And we're here to give you young people a friendly word of advice. Always think before you act.
Right? See, it's not whether you win or lose, but is it over when the fat lady sings? Can't we all just get along?
Staying in school and staying off drugs is fine, but it ain't going to do you any good at all if you don't have sense enough to stay in your car.
Right? See, we were stupid. We got out of our car. We didn't use our heads. Now look what happened. We may have won the battle, but the early bird got the worm. Can't we all just get along?
And your friends are going to try to tempt you. They're going to say, hey, come on, get out of your car. What can it hurt? Take it from us.
It hurts. Right? See, it's like Confucius said, he who hesitates can lead a horse to water, but he can't get that bird out of his bush. Can't we all just get along?
So take it from us,
Aww.
Reginald Denny.
And Rodney King, stay in your car.
You want to drive?
No, man.
Let's talk about it in the car.
We could take the bus.
No, there's people on the bus.
Aw, that would make me sad.
Oh, it's good advice. Stay in your car.
Stay in your car. Worth the wait, says Mark. Worth the wait. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for hanging in for the laughs. Somebody says, Lark Park says, oh, I missed this show. It's so funny. Well, that one that I found that I pulled up just then was the full episode. Apparently, we've never had a problem showing in living color clips. We've had problems with other shows, but you can go and watch whole episodes, especially like I was saying, young people, if you don't know, it was like so non-PC. You could equal opportunity offenders. You could make fun of anything. And
yeah, just felt like a cultural shift was happening. It's back when Black culture was becoming more popular, and it was really exciting. That's why I want to do a podcast called Back When Being Black Was Cool, but now everyone hates us. Like,
that's the whole name.
Yes.
The titles, but now everyone hates us.
Yes.
No, that's sad.
But true.
When comedy was real, says Erica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was J-Lo on that show?
Yeah, she was a fly girl.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Forgot about that. And Pinkava, you could work on that acronym. Mark gives us a $2 super chat. Thanks, Mystery Chris. Great work.
Thank you, Mark.
Great work, sir. Okay, you guys, we're gonna wrap it. That was a long episode for us. Oh my goodness, we almost did 4 hours.
I know.
4 hours. Okay, we have another. We're gonna do a part 2 of race and court TV and trials of the 90s, and that one's going to be about the O.J. Simpson trial, which I will have a lot of stuff to say about that one. I like a lot of people, I followed that trial religiously, much more closely than I did the Rodney King and stuff, and I've seen a lot of the documentaries since. I've seen a lot of the court footage. I've seen the dramatizations, and I've read his book. I read OJ's book. Did you read the book?
Nope.
It's terrible. It's a confession. it's a like a sociopath, right? Like right. If I did it, yeah. Okay, guys. we'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here tonight. If you like the show, give us a like, leave us a comment. It helps the algorithm. And Mystery Chris, we were very glad to have you back.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Good to see y'all chat.
Okay, we'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.